was laughable then. But I remember at the time bringing this up and people going, this is casual baseball. You guys don't know ball. Bellinger's got an OPS over 800. He can play center, play right, he can play first. He could be the designated hitter some days. You'd find a way to get his bat in the lineup. And for people, he wouldn't have come here. Well, I do know that he didn't sign until the eve of the season, meaning he wasn't exactly getting flooded with quality offers. If you had shown up and said, here's a 15% raise on what the Cubs are offering. We have a slash-depleted payroll. We're willing to give you a short-term deal because we think you got real power. We think you're coming off a good season. We believe in our ability to keep players playing their best. That was Scott Harris's whole thing, right? We want this to be a place guys can go to and be successful. We would have got all that if they had signed him. Instead, we can't block Parker Meadows, who's not even on the Major League roster. And I know Matt Chapman was another name that I had brought up who has not hit well enough. Does have 5 home runs, right? I mean, not like he would have been like a drain on the team any more than anybody else's. And it would have been an honest effort to attempt to improve this team's offense. I don't feel like they made a real honest attempt to improve the offense because it was more important to see the season through. You guys tell me. I don't know that it's up for debate. But at 40 games, can we start to acknowledge that they did not do enough to address the offense? I know anything before this would have been premature, but I think we've reached a point where we can have that conversation. 248-539-9797. The other thing I want to bring up, we'll do Piston talk later in the hour. Colt Keith. He had an opportunity to go yard against Justin Verlander and fell just shy. Just shy. One of the quotes he gave after the game, I want to get John Jansen's reaction to it because he is not the first player to make these statements, but he is the latest. It's 97.1.
Hey, the NBA playoffs are in full swing, but it's not too late to get in on the action with FanDuel because right now new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. It means all you got to do is put down $5, win, and you're going to get $150 in bonus bets. That's $150 to use on things like same-game parlays, live bets, championship futures, and there's so much more. That's why you've got to explore the app, find out what you like, what you're comfortable with. There's no better place to bet all the playoff action than America's #1 sportsbook. Just go to FanDuel.com/Jansen to get started. That's FanDuel.com/Jansen. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA and 97.1 The Ticket. Must be 21 or over and present in Michigan. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Are you dreading the thought of having a salesman come to your home when you need a new roof? That changes now. I'm Mike Harvey, founder of The Roof Resource, and shopping for a new roof has never been easier. We provide a complete new roof with quality shingles, expert installation, and family pricing for everyone. If you want a 5-star customer experience, all done virtually, then visit theroofresource.com. This is the new We have removed the confusion out of the roof buying process and made it simple for the homeowner. I went to see a client and he had a price from $12,000 to $24,000, but he had decided on a company for about $15,000. He found the Roof Resource. We did it for $9,100. And so what he did with the extra money is he bought a pool for his kids. And to me, that was amazing. Homeowners, when they know that they need to get a roof, all of a sudden it's, I don't know what I don't know, what goes into a roof, and they have to go out to the market, they go get 3 quotes from 3 different companies. They then have to schedule those appointments, they have to go through sales presentations, then they get presented with 3 different products, and then 3 different price points. And they've spent maybe 6 to 8 hours. They're then sitting with, who do I choose? So it's like they've gone through all of this to still get, I don't know which one to choose. Who wants a customer experience like that? So we take the confusion out of the process that homeowners go through and we simplify it for them so that then they can actually see how simple it really is. And they're so blown away because we're saving them literally thousands of dollars from their lowest estimate. We have some clients that we're saving $20,000. They will call us up and just say, how can you do this? how do you make money? It's not only what we're saving homeowners, it's really about how much more money that we're putting into the communities. And to date, so far, the byproduct of the roofs that we've done, it's been anywhere from $250,000 to $350,000. And these homeowners can then pay for trips, vacations, gutters, new garage doors. It's truly amazing, not only that we were able to serve them, but it's what else they're able to do with the money that they saved. So if you think you need a roof on your home, just go to theroofresource.com, submit your information. We will give you a call, we'll send you out an estimate within a couple hours, and you'll know the exact numbers to get a brand new roof on your home. Are you dreading the thought of having a salesman come to your home when you need a new roof? That changes now. I'm Mike Harvey, founder of The Roof Resource, and shopping for a new roof has never been easier. We provide a complete new roof with quality shingles, expert installation, and family pricing for everyone. If you want a 5-star customer experience, all done virtually, then visit theroofresource.com. This is the new, no-pressure way to get a new roof on your home. To learn more, visit theroofresource.com. That's theroofresource.com. We have removed the confusion out of the roof buying process and made it simple for the homeowner. I went to see a client and he had a price from $12,000 to $24,000, but he had decided on a company for about $15,000. He found the Roof Resource. We did it for $9,100. And so what he did with the extra money is he bought a pool for his kids. And to me, that was amazing. Homeowners, when they know that they need to get a roof, all of a sudden it's, I don't know what I don't know, what goes into a roof, and they have to go out to the market, go get 3 quotes from 3 different companies. They then have to schedule those appointments, they have to go through sales presentations, then they get presented with 3 different products, and then 3 different price points. And they've spent maybe 6 to 8 hours. They're then sitting with, who do I choose? So it's like they've gone through all of this to still get, I don't know which one to choose. Who wants a customer experience like that? So we take the confusion out of the process that homeowners go through and we simplify it for them so that then they can actually see how simple it really is. And they're so blown away because we're saving them literally thousands of dollars from their lowest estimate. We have some clients that we're saving $20,000. They will call us up and just say, how can you do this? How do you make money? It's not only what we're saving homeowners.
Celebration.
It's
all right, he hit a home run, everybody. He's back. Not willing to go that far, but good to see him at a home run. Fine. Point taken. 97-1. Hey, before I get to what Colt Keats said. Heather had an observation, and I'm not going to let this go. You brought in your own salt and pepper concoction there?
No. It's just my own salt.
But it's not like in a salt shaker. It's in a teeny tiny Tupperware where you have to sprinkle it with your fingers.
All I had was that at home. So, and it's been at my desk for, the past 6 months.
And you do know there is a kitchen here with salt
and
shakers.
pepper.
I know, but I can never really count on the fact that there's going to be salt in there or that the salt will actually be functional because I've gone back there before and it's all been kind of like crystallized on top. You can't get any salt out. It's like trying to use the Parmesan cheese on top of the pizza. Like you can't get enough out, so you got to unscrew it and then just kind of dabble it on. So I brought my own.
What are you eating over there?
Fascinating.
Eggs.
Okay.
Yeah, hard-boiled eggs.
I walked back there, and I thought it's too early for ice cream. They do have ice cream in the little bistro back
Oh,
They
my
do?
goodness, yeah.
But there's no spoon, so I had to do like the real. I'm like, I have to
See,
go find
this
a
is
hunt
why
for a
I bring my
spoon.
own stuff. You never
They're
know.
little.
Like what kind of ice cream? Like the
Like
kind
hot-
that comes with those little
No, I wish it
wooden
had.
spoons?
No, it's
Those?
like the Haagen-Dazs, but they're like little tiny
Oh.
ones.
Yeah, bite-sized.
And it's strawberry only in there. I don't know how we feel about strawberry ice cream.
Not a big fan.
Yeah, I knew.
Oh, I
knew
like
it.
strawberry ice
I don't
cream.
mind it. So I initially thought, Oh, ice cream. Jim, it's too early for ice cream. Also,
whoa,
it's
whoa,
strawberry.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Also,
Yeah, exactly. Whoa, it's never too early for ice cream. I am coming down off the trip to Disney, so I am trying to get back onto reasonable eating, which is why I've got the hard-boiled eggs this morning.
let me rephrase. I have eaten ice cream this early in the morning. It is too early to eat ice cream without being judged. I feel like if I was eating ice
You're not
cream,
gonna be
I would
judged in here.
Not
Nope.
in this safe space.
Oh,
Greg, you want no judgment if I go get some ice cream in the next?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, do that.
He used to eat pork rinds and peanut butter
Right.
every morning, so I
yeah,
think you're
all
okay.
for it. Yeah. Now, if it was vegan ice cream, I would get after you a little bit. Not sure
You
the
got to
point.
have dairy. I mean, that's ice cream, right? The creamery and
Yes.
Just say it's a dairy serving.
It's like
Yes.
yogurt.
Yeah.
Frozen.
It's like a glass of milk in the morning.
By the way, John, this
Yeah.
behavior of bringing your own salt, very strange and so unconventional. I love it.
Of course.
You're welcome.
he does.
Yeah.
It was just interesting to see you over there. Like it was like you were like,
Yeah. I'm a chef.
bam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just,
Yeah, just a little
sprinkling your
pinch, a little
salt
pinch here and
over
there,
your
yeah.
hard-boiled egg.
the way you said it though, you were like, "What are you doing
Oh yeah.
over there?"
It's very
It's
much
strange.
yes, looking down upon my culinary.
Not necessarily looking down, just questioning.
inquisitive.
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes. So now you guys know the full story.
So what else do you have? Do you have like Italian seasoning? You got garlic powder, little onion powder.
No, I'm gonna have to go over there. I've got some dirty coffee mugs that are seasoning by themselves,
Okay.
and but yeah, that would be it.
All right, Colt Keith.
Nice transition.
Speaking of salty,
Is this salty to bring up? Yeah, he was kind of salty about the long fly ball he hit on Sunday. 383-foot fly out. Would have been a home run in 15 of 30 MLB ballparks. Evan Petzold to the Free Press did a little number crunching. So half the ballparks it would have been a home run. Half it wouldn't. Colt Keith, who's still searching for his first home run, said, quote, "That's over the road in Erie, bro. That's out of the stadium in Toledo. I don't know. I got to hit my homers on the road. It's a big park," end quote. Couple things, bro. We could send you down to Erie if you want to hit home runs, or Toledo if you're more inclined. You were in the majors, and half of your games are on the road, where you have 0 home runs. You're not the first Tiger to make these complaints. This is the ballpark for both teams. Go hit a bunch of doubles and triples. You're a second baseman. Come on. I mean, no one's expecting you to hit 30 home runs as a rookie. I don't know where this is coming from, but I don't think
it's coming from his frustration of not being able to hit home runs at the major league level. And this is where I'm not going to throw him under the bus because he's a young guy, but this is case in point of rookies are seen and not heard. Now, I know somebody asked him the question or he elaborated on a question, but as a rookie, you keep the answers brief. You keep them all, your personal opinions out of it, facts only, until you understand, because this is something that we have heard year in, year out over the course of the life of Comerica Park. And we also,
go back to Juan Gonzalez,
even going into
Castellanos.
last year where they adjusted the height of the fences and the dimensions of center field, not, in any terrifically measurable amounts, but this is something that we have heard about for a number of years. Colt Keith has not. This is his first experience. I'm sure he is getting a veteran's perspective on this today, son. It's probably best not to say, well, that would have been a home run in 15 other ballparks or in Toledo or in any other, minor league ballpark or high school ballpark. This is the major leagues. This is where you are playing.
Yeah, bottom line is, half the ballparks, it wouldn't have been a home run. It would have been allowed out in half the ballparks.
Right.
So hit the weight room. And I, John, you said when you're rookie or you're a young guy, maybe, stick to the facts. I don't mind when guys have opinions and personality
They can,
and step. But then, this is
Why
part
they call
of,
it a sophomore season.
But this is part of it. You're not maybe giving the most informed perspective.
Right. Seen and not heard.
248-539-9797. Colt Keith, I mean, listen, we could say he's got better approach at the plate, and we're seeing some of the good things and hard contact. He still does not have a home run. He's had a ton of at-bats this season. It's why we've talked about whether he needs a stint to Toledo. And I don't know. I mean, Torque eventually hit a home run. I think Keith will eventually hit a home run.
Sure.
But the question will be how much lost time has there been this year by letting these guys struggle for a good chunk of the season?
Well, it'll all depend on where they go, what they do. And for Colt Keith, this is what we were talking about in year one of Spencer Torkelson. Watching Spencer Torkelson grow up in front of our eyes and struggle, more importantly, not necessarily grow up, but struggle. And then we thought we hit what was supposed to be the 1-1 that Spencer Torkelson was drafted when he hit 31 home runs, a majority of those coming after the All-Star break last year. And now for Spencer Torkelson, we're 40 games into this season and he has his first home run. I think Cole Keith is going to be more consistent. He's just not there yet.
We're going to talk about the Pistons and the lottery and the luck and their lack thereof at 9:35. But first, Heather with the news.
Commanders head coach Dan Quinn is already making some waves in his first practice in Washington. So on Saturday, he was wearing a Redskins-themed, inspired shirt. So it did have the Washington logo, the W, and then it also featured 2 feathers from the Redskins logo, right? And so got, turned some heads.
Of course.
Now, the team, a day after, did say that they're not going to make any, comment on the shirt, but they did say that he chose to wear that T-shirt on his own accord.
Right. The bigger problem that he's having is with the NFL because it's not licensed apparel.
Right. It was not licensed apparel, but you type it in instantly. If you just type in a shirt, Dan Quinn shirt.
Yeah.
You can
it's everywhere.
Find several sites to buy it on if you're interested.
Yeah. But the point was this wasn't
everywhere.
Like this isn't a piece of Commander's merch.
No.
So he kind of went rogue to do this. Like, why go out of your way to incorporate a logo that's no longer in the league because of issues? Odd choice.
Yeah. I haven't heard any comment from him. So don't know. No. There was a lot of people say there are a lot of fans that liked the nod to the past because it also had the Commanders on it as well.
Yes, it did.
And with when they were the Washington football team, it had the feathers, it had the Washington football team logo and Commanders, so it was kind of a all three
transition.
Yeah, some people liked it, like you said, and some people.
A lot of people were like, it's a bygone era.
Yes, for sure. A YouTube streamer in Los Angeles is going viral for, I guess, all of the wrong reasons. This YouTuber, who goes by VP, which is, I guess, Vegan Patriot, was streaming from her car. She was answering questions, on camera, and she was vaping while doing all this. And then she ran over a pedestrian. Now, was this a setup? Was this actually real? I mean, it sounded real in the moment. I'm guessing maybe it was. She does say that she wasn't arrested and the person was fine. They're fine.
That word again.
Don't worry about it.
That word again.
They're fine. Yeah. You can, that sound effect that you make when you're rolling over somebody with a comment, bump. Yeah. You actually heard it.
I know. A man recently rented and also returned a Tesla, a Model 3 to Hertz after a weekend trip to LA.
Sure.
And he was surprised, however, when he received an additional charge of $277.39 on top of basically, what he reserved the car for. And why was he charged that? Well, he didn't return it with a full tank of gas. Right? But on top of all of that, right? The car doesn't take gas, of course, people.
Yes.
But this guy even decided to take an extra step further when he rented the car. And he paid for this skip the pump and save time option, meaning that if he would have even rented a gas model vehicle, he didn't need to refuel it. And he says that he made sure to return it with a full charge, a 96% charge, which is where it was when he rented it. He discussed this with Hertz, reached out to them, and they originally just wrote him an email and said, sorry.
Yeah.
This situation is over and done with, right? We're not going to help you out. Well, since kind of going viral, Hertz is now saying, whoa, we really apologize for everything and we will refund you this ridiculous charge.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like, it doesn't make any sense.
No, it shouldn't have even, it doesn't, one person should see that and go, oh, duh.
Yes, here's your refund.
But it's the fact that they have an email. This woman who, I don't know that it was a woman. In my head, it was a woman.
Oh,
but
wow.
I have
Throwing
no
your
idea.
own under the bus.
Spokesperson.
Here we go. Sound effect. Boom, boom.
They wrote him back. It was just like, no, this is out of our control. It's your fault, basically. We're not going to refund you. Over and done with. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, tone deaf. When you rent a car, do you do the refill the gas, or you'll just pay the difference at the end? How do you do it?
It depends. If I'm traveling alone, I will refill it myself.
Yeah.
If I'm traveling with family, nope, pay for it ahead of time.
I think we do we refuel. We don't rent cars very often, but I think that's what we do.
I refuel, especially because sometimes the rate per
I
gallon
think
is way more expensive than if you do it yourself. But that's the fine print, and most people don't even check that to begin with.
Yeah.
Anyway, Heather with the news. Coming up next, it's the Pistons not picking first. What? They had the worst record in the history of the franchise. Not again. They're picking fifth. It's 97-1.
Really about how much more money that we're putting into the communities. And to date, so far, the byproduct of the roofs that we've done, it's been anywhere from $250,000 to $350,000. And these homeowners can then pay for trips, vacations, gutters, new garage doors. It's truly amazing, not only that we're able to serve them, but it's what else they're able to do with the money that they save. So if you think you need a roof on your home, just go to theroofresource.com, submit your information. We will give you a call. We'll send you out an estimate within a couple hours, and you'll know the exact numbers to get a brand new roof on your home. Are you dreading the thought of having a salesman come to your home when you need a new roof? That changes now. I'm Mike Harvey, founder of The Roof Resource, and shopping for a new roof has never been easier. We provide a complete new roof with quality shingles, expert installation, and family pricing for everyone. If you want a 5-star customer experience, all done virtually, then visit theroofresource.com. This is the new, no-pressure way to get a new roof on your home. To learn more, visit theroofresource.com. That's theroofresource.com. We have removed the confusion out of the roof buying process and made it simple for the homeowner. I went to see a client and he had a price from $12,000 to $24,000, but he had decided on a company for about $15,000. He found the Roof Resource. We did it for $9,100. And so what he did with the extra money is he bought a pool for his kids. And to me, that was amazing. Homeowners, when they know that they need to get a roof, all of a sudden it's, I don't know what I don't know, what goes into a roof, and they have to go out to the market, they go get 3 quotes from 3 different companies. They then have to schedule those appointments, they have to go through sales presentations, then they get presented with 3 different products, and then 3 different price points. And they've spent maybe 6 to 8 hours. They're then sitting with, who do I choose? So it's like they've gone through all of this to still get, I don't know which one to choose. Who wants a customer experience like that? So we take the confusion out of the process that homeowners go through and we simplify it for them so that then they can actually see how simple it really is. And they're so blown away because we're saving them literally thousands of dollars from their lowest estimate. We have some clients that we're saving $20,000. They will call us up and just say, how can you do this? How do you make money? It's not only what we're saving homeowners, it's really about how much more money that we're putting into the communities. And to date, so far, the byproduct of the roofs that we've done, it's been anywhere from $250,000 to $350,000. And these homeowners can then pay for trips, vacations, gutters, new garage doors. It's truly amazing, not only that we're able to serve them, but it's what else they're able to do with the money that they save. So if you think you need a roof on your home, just go to theroofresource.com, submit your information. We will give you a call. We'll send you out an estimate within a couple hours, and you'll know the exact numbers to get a brand new roof on your home.
So there is a little mini spoon in the lid.
I knew there had to be one.
Good for you.
Yeah.
He got
Are
his
you
ice
dreading?
cream.
Here's the problem. It's, frozen rock solid right now. It'll melt while we're on the air, and then I'll have a soup.
I like my ice cream melted better.
I like it a little bit softer. I'm not going to say fully melted, but
You don't like it hard. Anyway, we're just going to skip past the innuendo. We got stuff to talk about this morning. The Pistons are not picking first overall. They had the worst record in basketball for the second year in a row, and for the second year in a row, they will pick fifth. There's a lot of complaining, a lot of griping, and we can debate whether the system is a good system or not. I don't think it is a good system. But I can't shed a tear for the Pistons. I don't feel bad for the organization. They are a deeply unserious group of people. This is absolutely a fitting draw for them in the lottery. John, whether it's ownership telling us, hey, if you put aside winning, ... or promising change, still yet to see anything meaningful. Your general manager has gone on a Matt Millen-like run and is still employed because, well, it's not for him to decide. You need somebody else to come in here and state the obvious. He should be fired. You haven't done anything. You have not hired a president of basketball ops, despite saying you would. It's been a month since the season ended. Have you interviewed anybody? Not that we know of publicly. You're waiting for Milwaukee's guy. Got blocked. What about the guy who used to be out in Portland? He won't even take the interview. You're a deeply unserious group. So we could play the tiny violin for you, or we could, fake crocodile tears. I feel bad for the fans. I think the system is stupid. But the Pistons are absolutely a victim of their own circumstance, are they not? Like, the ultimate fix to the lottery woes is to not waste the time you won the lottery with Cade Cunningham to actually do something and build something. It's your own fault that you wallow and now beg for luck once a year.
Well, there's a whole situation going on of if you're in charge of this roster and you are now in terms of like the 6 or 7 worst seasons in franchise history, you have been at the helm. We'll give you a pass on the first couple of years because you are trying to restore something, as Troy Weaver said. But at some point, you got to take ownership of the roster, the fact that you did win the lottery one time. You did have what you would quote unquote call your franchise player, but you've done nothing else to build around. The basketball gods have said, well, you don't deserve the number 1 pick because you're not going to do anything with it. We're going to give it to an organization that maybe they will, maybe they won't. Maybe there's nobody in this draft that is worthy of being the number 1 overall pick. Somebody will be for the Atlanta Hawks if they hold on to that pick. But you've done nothing to show that you deserve anything better than the worst we could possibly give you.
Yeah, and again, the talent in this draft is almost besides the point. I mean, this has happened 2 years in a row. Last year, there was a much better draft. It was Victor Wembanyama at number 1. This year, people think it's this French center, Sarr, not a great shooter, but one of these big projectable young bigs.
Yes, from Perth, Australia.
Oh, yes, but he played professionally in France, which is why.
Right. No, I know, but this is the thing, and this is part of the problem with the draft. This is the NBA issue, or it's, I don't know what the issue is you're drafting top players that may be the best talent in the world. We have no idea who they are.
It's some of this is the decline of college basketball, the rise of international basketball. Yeah. I mean, one and done where guys don't develop as long. I mean, it's a number of factors. But yeah, I don't think the average person has a big opinion on who they would have taken at 3 or 4 or now 5. I mean,
right.
we'll talk it sparingly because it is the Pistons. At some point before the draft. This is only a topic today because the lottery was yesterday, and people were seeing the headlines and go, whoa, not again, not the Pistons falling again. You said sort of like basketball gods. Like I don't think this was like an act of the NBA sticking it to the Pistons. It wasn't like the clip we had in the news, the person running someone over. I don't think this is a league running that. Yeah, I don't think that's the league doing that to the Pistons, although
kind of feels like it.
Could you blame them?
Yeah.
To me, this was the most likely outcome. How could they have fallen to 5? Well, if you look at odds, this was the odds-on most likely landing spot for the Pistons. They had almost a 50-50 shot to pick 5th overall despite finishing with the league's worst record. That, to me, is not a long shot fluke. How could this have happened? This was the most likely outcome, that the Pistons would pick 5th. Only a 14% chance to pick 1st. So, to me, I don't love the system because if we have a draft in the first place, the idea is to help bad teams. You should not have a system where the worst team is most likely to pick 5th. And the proposal that I would put forward to fix this, beyond just, get good, is I would have the lottery stay the same in terms of odds, still a 14% chance for the teams that finish with the worst, second worst, and third worst records. Still kind of keep that the same, but only draw one time. You draw for the first pick. For everybody that wants to know why is this not televised, it's because they draw in reverse. Mm-hmm. Well, they don't draw in reverse. They draw first, but then they reveal it.
It's revealed in reverse, yes.
But if there's only one drawing, you could show it live because it's only one team that gets the ping pong ball. You could show it live, take some of the conspiracy out. And 2, it would still curb tanking for the generational prospect. You'd only have a 14% chance, but it wouldn't be as punitive to the teams that are just honestly bad and need a redistribution of talent. You could only fall one spot. So if you're the worst team, you'd fall to 2. If you're the second worst team, you could fall as low as 3. To me, that's the balance. Now, you had a Jansen amendment to this.
Yeah, I would say instead of just the one, because it is a lottery and there is risk involved and there's reward involved as well, not just making it the one pick, but go 2 picks. So the worst, if you have the worst record in the NBA, the worst you could end up was 3.
So 2 spots is the furthest.
Yeah, 2 spots. You draw for of those, and then the worst you could possibly be is 3. I think that moving forward, there's more parity, as Greg pointed out earlier in the show, there's more parity right now in the NBA than there's ever been. But there's also, I think, a bigger disparity from those teams, the top 15 to 20 teams who are vying for either the play-in tournament or an NBA championship, those teams versus those that are at the bottom. Now, the problem is we've seen other teams that the Detroit Pistons have been in competition with for drafts, for lottery wins.
Thunder, Cavs.
Yeah. All of a sudden, now you're looking at a team that is the number 1 overall seed in the West. And it was, 3 years ago that they were vying for the lottery win?
Yep.
So they've been able to dig their way out. Why haven't the Pistons? And you could say, well, it's they either picked poorly or they haven't built around Cade Cunningham. They haven't spent in free agency. Like, there's a number of different things. It's a little bit of everything, but the fact of the matter is it's been ineptly run.
Yeah, I mean, it's why I'm not sounding the wambulance or trying to cry on the Pistons' behalf. Like, they had and still had tons of chances to better their situation over the years and didn't. It's just, hey, while we're talking lottery, I don't think any team that's that bad, should be picking 5th. That feels like you were trying to curb tanking and maybe swung too far the other way where it becomes punitive. And this has happened several years in a row now. With both of them happen to be the Pistons the last 2. 248-539-9797. The question is, do you feel bad for the Pistons or did they deserve this outcome, a fitting result for the franchise? Do you like the current lottery system? Maybe you do like the current lottery system and it's working as intended. It's supposed to discourage teams from being terrible. Well, Pistons weren't trying to tank this year. They were trying to make the play, and they're just this bad. They need a talent infusion, among other things. So do you want the system to be changed? And if there are people who think this is rigged, I hate saying this, well, we invited flat earthers when we talked to Clips. 248-539-9797. If the mean man is in the commissioner's office is sticking it to the Pistons, let us know. Like, John, you don't think this is rigged?
No, I don't think there's any. I think it's just bad luck for the Pistons. It's just how the ball bounced. And you could talk about the great luck for Atlanta. They were in the play-in tournament and they won the draft. They won the lottery. It doesn't mean they're going to win the draft. That will be, TBD over the, next season and the years to come in terms of who they pick, but I don't think there's anything fixed about this. It's just the Pistons won 14 games out of 82 opportunities. And in the offseason, they've now suffered their first loss of the offseason when there was no competition. There was nothing. So it's just, to your point, it seems very fitting that this would happen to the Pistons.
The hits, they keep coming. They won't stop coming. Coming up next, Greg, you had an interesting thought about fandom as a Pistons fan. I want to give you the platform to share that because I think you will be not the only one who feels that way. It's 97.1.
Hey, Ideal U helps you lose weight fast. You can lose up to 40 pounds in 40 days using real whole foods. That means you can lose 40 pounds before you got to put that bathing suit on for the first time this year, and that's 40 pounds before summer starts. Sign up now, and you're going to get a $200 Visa gift card. Book your free consultation right now at idealu.us. Ideal U is different than other weight loss programs. It works, and it works fast. I lost 10 pounds in the first 10 days. I've lost 60 pounds overall with Ideal U, and I've been able to keep it off, and here's how. It's not shakes, bars, or prepackaged foods. You guys know I love my food, and I got to eat real whole food every single day. And here's the program. They're going to teach you what to eat and drink to lose weight. You're in constant contact with a weight loss coach, and they want you to achieve your goals. And once you've achieved your goal, they're going to teach you how to keep the weight off. I mentioned I'm 2.5 years into this, and I'm still down 60 pounds. Ideal U will help you lose up to 40 pounds in 40 days. Sign up now, and you're going to get a $200 Visa gift card. Book your free consultation right now at idealu.us.
The thought of having a salesman come to your home when you need a new roof? That changes now. I'm Mike Harvey, founder of The Roof Resource, and shopping for a new roof has never been easier. We provide a complete new roof with quality shingles, expert installation, and family pricing for everyone. If you want a 5-star customer experience, all done virtually, then visit theroofresource.com. This is the new, no-pressure way to get a new roof on your home. To learn more, visit theroofresource.com. That's theroofresource.com. We have removed the confusion out of the roof buying process and made it simple for the homeowner. I went to see a client and he had a price from $12,000 to $24,000, but he had decided on a company for about $15,000. He found the Roof Resource. We did it for $9,100. And so what he did with the extra money is he bought a pool for his kids. And to me, that was amazing. Homeowners, when they know that they need to get a roof, all of a sudden it's, I don't know what I don't know, what goes into a roof, and they have to go out to the market, they go get 3 quotes from 3 different companies. They then have to schedule those appointments, they have to go through sales presentations, then they get presented with 3 different products, and then 3 different price points. And they've spent maybe 6 to 8 hours. They're then sitting with, who do I choose? So it's like they've gone through all of this to still get, I don't know which one to choose. Who wants a customer experience like that? So we take the confusion out of the process that homeowners go through and we simplify it for them so that then they can actually see how simple it really is. And they're so blown away because we're saving them literally thousands of dollars from their lowest estimate. We have some clients that we're saving $20,000. They will call us up and just say, how can you do this? How do you make money? It's not only what we're saving homeowners, it's really about how much more money that we're putting into the communities. And to date, so far, the byproduct of the roofs that we've done, it's been anywhere from $250,000 to $350,000. And these homeowners can then pay for trips, vacations, gutters, new garage doors. It's truly amazing, not only that we're able to serve them, but it's what else they're able to do with the money that they save. So if you think you need a roof on your home, just go to theroofresource.com, submit your information. We will give you a call, we'll send you out an estimate within a couple hours, and you'll know the exact numbers to get a brand new roof on your home. Are you dreading the thought of having a salesman come to your home when you need a new roof? That changes now. I'm Mike Harvey, founder of The Roof Resource, and shopping for a new roof has never been easier. We provide a complete new roof with quality shingles, expert installation, and family pricing for everyone. If you want a 5-star customer experience, all done virtually, then visit theroofresource.com. This is the new, no-pressure way to get a new roof on your home. To learn more, visit theroofresource.com. That's theroofresource.com. We have removed the confusion out of the roof buying process and made it simple for the homeowner. I went to see a client and he had a price from $12,000 to $24,000, but he had decided on a company for about $15,000. He found the Roof Resource. We did it for $9,100. And so what he did with the extra money is he bought a pool for his kids. And to me, that was amazing. Homeowners, when they know that they need to get a roof, all of a sudden it's, I don't know what I don't know, what goes into a roof, and they have to go out to the market, go get 3 quotes from 3 different companies. They then have to schedule those appointments, they have to go through sales presentations, then they get presented with 3 different products, and then 3 different price points. And they've spent maybe 6 to 8 hours. They're then sitting with, who do I choose? So it's like they've gone through all of this to still get, I don't know which one to choose. Who wants a customer experience like that? So we take the confusion out of the process that homeowners go through and we simplify it for them so that then they can actually see how simple it really is.
All right, 97.1, wrapping up a Monday. Greg Hargrave behind the glass. You had a Pistons fan perspective.
Yes, I think reading some text that my friend had sent me over the weekend after the draft lottery, which, by the way, yes, I did not know was happening yesterday because it usually is on a Tuesday night. A lot of the despair of Pistons fans coming through, and I think I have come to the realization and the acceptance, and I'm okay with it, that the Pistons are just going to be a terrible franchise for decades and perhaps for the rest of my life. And I'm okay with that. Mostly because we have 2004 and the remembrance of that team of some formative college years I'm okay with, and I will live my Pistons fandom off of that. And understanding that we will probably just talk about the Pistons the rest of my life the way people talked about the Lions up until a couple years ago. That this is just one of the worst franchises in the NBA, and it's not going to get better.
It's depressing.
So you've just resigned yourself to living in the past, and nothing good is going to happen in the future.
Yes. The rest of my life will be the Pistons being irrelevant.
Well, their last playoff win was 2008. They've only made the playoffs a couple times since.
Yeah. I don't.
And it doesn't look like they're getting any better anytime soon.
So basically what you're saying is the quote-unquote jinx went from Ford Field and Allen Park.
I don't think he believes in that stuff.
The Pistons.
Greg doesn't believe in it.
Because you're basically saying it's going to be 60 years of futility, which would be well past your and I's lifetime.
Oh, I mean, that's not a jinx. That's just like where they are as a franchise. Like, look, and towards the 2004 thing and remembering that 04 team, like, I will be the old man at 80 calling into this station at 80 talking about the 04 Pistons, the way people talk about the 68 Tigers now. I'll be that guy.
What about Roy Euler? Yeah, come on.
That Ben Wallace, he was a great ball player.
Let me tell you, that's back when you had to win with a team. Well, people still do that already. Well, it does speak to the way the NBA is structured. Like, to win, you really need to have that transformative star. I mean, how many titles in the NBA could be summed up by you had to have one of these 8 guys? Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Shaq, Kobe, Duncan, LeBron, Steph Curry. Like, I mean, unless I missed someone, like, that is probably the vast majority of NBA championships in the last 30, 40 years were made up by two handfuls of guys.
Yeah.
If you don't have one, you need to be an outlier, kind of like the 04 Pistons or lightning in a bottle like the Raptors a few years ago with Kawhi Leonard. It's a really bleak outlook when things are working for you. You could be in the pursuit of doing all the right things, drafting and scouting and finding guys. And
you just don't have that guy.
Yeah, and you're like, I don't know, we're the Pacers. Like, Halliburton's all right. Or we're the Knicks. Like, I don't think either of those teams are winning a title this year. They're doing all the right things.
Well, here's the thing that I would maybe push back against that was that part of the parity in the league now is that you see guys that it's not winning the lottery. Like, did we think the Bucks won the Giannis lottery?
No, that's a good point.
No, they didn't. Did the Nuggets win the Jokic lottery?
Good point.
I would even push back on Curry. When he was, the 7th overall pick?
Yeah, he wasn't top 5. He was,
and so was, Klay Thompson was the same kind of thing. Like, they drafted in the lottery, but it's not. I mean, those guys were picked later than the Pistons are picking this coming year.
I'm not saying you have to. I'm not saying you have to do it with the number 1 pick. I'm saying unless you find a Hall of Famer, bona fide, super mega duper star, you're throwing pennies in a wishing well.
Oh, sure. Oh, it makes it easier. There's no doubt.
Yeah. So I'm saying, but that is the backdrop of the sport. Then throw in the fact that you can't get out of your own way. And I get why, like, for sanity's sake, you have been brought to this conclusion.
Well, and the problem is it's the Pistons have won the lottery. And they have a player that's a good player. Would I call him great? Not yet. No. He has the potential to be great. But they're not doing anything in other means, whether it's trades or free agency, to put pieces around Cade Cunningham. Jordan, as great as he was, didn't win championships until Scottie Pippen developed. And then you had other, Kerr, Horace Grant, you had other players along the way that helped him out. Yeah, Rodman after he left the Pistons. And with the Pistons, it was the same thing. It wasn't just going to be Isaiah. It was Lambeer, Mahorn, Rodman, Dumars. Dantley. Like, there were a number of different players that you had to have to complement your star player. And so if you're sitting here saying, well, you have the possibility of a star player, what have you done to add a Pippen to him? What have you done to add a Kerr or anybody else to him so that he can be great and the team can be great?
Gator, I don't know if you caught it earlier in the show, but we put Rieger on blast, but that wasn't enough. We also put his mother on blast.
Oh, no.
So he volunteered this information, and John, I can't believe this. Most people, I tweeted out a poll question, most people are on Rieger's side here.
Oh.
He said that he was rooting for Verlander yesterday, and so was his mother.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
And as of right now, about 500 votes, 57% said, yeah, I get it. It's fair game. I called it a toxic opinion. Which, I mean, maybe that's just a Rieger opinion, but to root for Verlander yesterday against your baseball team?
Yeah, I don't. Here's the thing. Like, when former players that I really like, and I was a big Justin Verlander fan, I think, like, the first time back, I'm like, I'd like you to see a pitch well but not win.
Yeah,
right? And
that's
the Tigers
fine.
win the game. And even I could still hold that attitude a little bit today, although the further away he is removed from this situation and the more success he gets away from Detroit, the more I'm like, no, dude, I'm good if we light him up and knock him out after the second inning.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
So it's strange. People are wired differently, I guess.
But we learned, or maybe learning, that it might not be Rieger's fault. It may be hereditary.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, we all, I think most people have met Dave, and Dave's a Broncos fan.
Yeah.
What was that right there?
Don't even get me started.
Don't light that candle.
Just all right. Let's not get me started.
Again, people are running to his defense on the ticket text.
And right now, his brother and Jeff are both like, he's right. Let's just move on.
Just move on. Don't dig up those skeletons.
Gator knows.
Gator, I'm telling you, I think a lot of people were rooting for Verlander yesterday against the Tigers.
I think when it starts to get to be the fourth inning, the fifth inning, and there's still no hits on board, that, yeah, some people are.
History kind of takes precedent.
Yeah, I guess. And then you want to see something special? And if it's going to be something special against your team, may as well be from Justin Verlander. But
it was a tie game at 0-0. Like, you want to win these games, right?
It's not me. I'm like,
know.
Let's get the hit. Let's knock this ball out of the park. Let's knock him out of the game, and let's win the damn game.
I'm sorry for putting you inside Rieger's head. What do you guys got coming up?
Oh, that's a scary space. It's a small space, but it's a scary space. Kidding. I'm kidding. Jeff and I are good.
He knows this is all in good fun.
We're good.
Exactly.
I thought maybe.
Ish. So we'll talk about a little bit what happened with the Tigers yesterday, how people are still struggling because they're just, listening how things happen rather than watching how things happen. The Pistons debacle yesterday, Osiris Thompson's face was hilarious. Just, all right, here we go. And he doesn't even know. He has no clue, how bad this thing really has been. But in the city, I mean, it's the Pistons is one thing, but it's like every time we get a draft situation, the luck goes away. But we'll talk about that as well and, recap some football stuff.
Perfect. Busy show coming up. Karsch Anderson's next. Stay tuned. 97.1.
Really is. And they're so blown away because we're saving them literally thousands of dollars from their lowest estimate. We have some clients that
brought to you by North Bloomfield Properties. The Pistons found out yesterday that they'll pick fifth in the first round of the NBA draft. Several national prognosticators say that Modest Buzelis will be their selection at number 5. He played for the G League's Ignite last season. The 20-year-old averaged 14 points and 7 rebounds. Michigan State football has landed a local 3-star commit. Linebacker Damari Malone announced his decision yesterday, picking the green and white over Illinois, Minnesota, and Pitt. He's currently a senior at Macomb, Dakota. The Tigers may have lost 9-3 to the Astros last night, but Spencer Torkelson got a huge monkey off his back. Tigers kick off his series with the Marlins today. Gio Urshela continues to rehab for the team as he works his way back from a right hamstring strain. He played in his third game for Toledo yesterday, going 3 for 3, including an RBI single. His return was still uncertain yesterday. A.J. Hinz said, quote, "We'd like to see him be explosive and be back to regular form. Not just the fact that he can get on the field." Hinch went on to say that we can have no reservations when we bring him back. When he's ready, end quote. Urshela hit nearly 300 before his injury. Finally, the Michigan Panthers defeated the D.C. Defenders over the weekend, 22-9, and with the help of a couple losses from teams around the league, they secured a United Football League playoff berth in its inaugural year. Still 3 games left in the regular season. At the Corwell Health Update Desk, I'm Jeremy Otto. For more, go to 97.1 The Ticket or Odyssey.com.
All right, happy Monday, everybody. Doug Karsch, Scott Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket. Hope you're doing great. I hope you had a great Mother's Day. Mom's out there. And hope everybody took care of your mom. Gator, how was your Mother's Day?
It was pleasant.
Yeah.
Went over to my parents' house yesterday. We had a little brunch. And that was our Mother's Day. Kind of hung out a little bit. And then I think my brother and his family went over there last night. So
Yeah.
It was good. I think Mom had a nice time.
It's most important.
Yeah.
Want some family time, and she got her family time, I assume?
Sure.
Yeah.
Whether she wanted it or not.
Maybe she did.
No, I think she did.
Did you make her a card, Gator?
I didn't make her a card. I bought her a card.
Oh. I think moms prefer the homemade stuff.
I don't know.
I've done some homemade gifts lately, and they just haven't really landed the way I hoped. So
No?
No. I'm not going to go into great detail, but I like, getting family portraits, but not like the Sears Studios. I'm talking about, we're off skiing, the whole family in a selfie, and I get it blown up, and put it, and I think everybody's going to love it, and they don't care.
People are like, oh, this is great, Dad.
Thanks, Dad.
Nice effort.
Yeah, but. Especially I think my wife would be like, "Oh, this is really cool." None of this stuff has landed.
No,
I'm not
gotten any closer
to. No. But I mean, even so, like Mother's Day, Mom wants to spend time with people more than anything. So we did that and had a good time. Had a very, very good time. Any other highlights this weekend?
Highlights. I don't know if I'd say highlights.
No.
Trying to do a quick think in my mind there.
I'm super curious about one thing.
Okay.
Did you remember to cancel Fubo?
Yeah, I did actually. Okay. It's funny you bring that up. So, yeah, I came in Friday and I got the alert on my phone. My phone went off with the
the reminder that I had set.
Let's bring people up to speed here real quick because, as we know, Tiger Baseball now behind a paywall, and the Xfinity deal has cut off most of Metro Detroit. There are other ways to get it. Got it. If you still got it, good for you. Many of us are in the same boat and that we don't have it. There are other ways that you can access it, including free trial. Free trial is awesome. Free trial is available. Fubo, which carries Xfinity, you can get a free trial of the streaming service Fubo for 1 week.
Carries Bally's.
Carries Bally's, yes. Yeah, carries. Yeah, my bad. Yes, carries Bally's. Bally's also has an app which has a free trial for 1 week, so you can sign up for these things and you don't have to pay for 1 week. But of course, you have to remember to cancel.
So a week ago Saturday, I had gotten the free 7-day trial through Fubo. But in order to do that, you've got to sign up. It's free, but if you don't cancel after 7 days, then it goes to the default, which is whatever you had signed up for, which for me was basically getting a whole new cable system for $100 a month, which I was not going to do. I just wanted the free trial and see how it worked out. And if it was really good, then maybe I would have considered dropping Xfinity altogether. But that was not the case. It's not what I wanted to do. So I had set a reminder for Friday to let me know, hey, remember to cancel Fubo before Saturday's 1 o'clock. That would have been the day. It would have been the time. Sorry. So that reminder went off on my phone at 6:30 in the morning on Friday. It was before you had sent a text to me on Friday morning, which I appreciate as always. But I remembered Friday night after watching the game, I'm like, okay, let's do this. So I went ahead and canceled it, and I'm surprised. I think I lucked into how easy it may have been because I was like searching for something else, and it put me on this page on the Fubo website, which I was able to maneuver through.
Yeah.
And I was able to cancel. Boom, there. So it was pretty easy for me.
Okay. Which is all, and that's a big deal because
for me it's a huge deal because I'm pathetic when it comes to technology.
I think though a lot of people that aren't pathetic with technology struggle at canceling service because they don't want you to and they don't make it easy.
No, they definitely don't want you to.
And
this wasn't terribly hard. Like I said, I think maybe I lucked into it or maybe it's just that easy. Hey, 3 steps, here you go. So I canceled it and I did not go to the Bally's app over the weekend. One of the problems I have is that my main TV does not allow for the Bally's app to be streamed right there. I would have to stream my device through the TV in order for me to get it, if that makes sense. Like some apps you can just download directly to the TV.
Right.
Because it's a smart TV, but my TV brand does not allow for that one. So I thought about it and I said, no, I'll wait till maybe Monday. So here it is Monday.
It's funny because with that in mind, I'm like, do I have to get a whole new TV to be able to stream?
Right, but you don't. I mean, there's simple ways just to stream your computer through the TV, and I just have to figure that out. I think it should be fairly simple.
Long story short, it's a headache for 90% of the people out there.
It's an ongoing headache. And it seemed last week, Tony Paul had a tweet saying that he had talked to somebody and one of the executives with one of the companies and seemed to think like talks are ongoing or they're still trying to work it out. Don't know if it's going to happen anytime soon, but they are trying to work it out. And I think it only benefits all parties if they do. So let's hope that that's in fact something that happens shortly rather than dragging on and on and on. And then you get towards hockey season. You're like, what are we doing?
Yep. Well, with that said, I'm still in the dark. Bally's, there's a chance it'll go in tonight. Because I do have one TV in the basement where I can stream it, and I may fire it up tonight. I don't know. It just feels I'm in this weird place, Gator, where admittedly I'm like I'm not doing my job, but I also part of the job is being able to relate to the audience. And so there's a lot of, okay, I'm listening. I'm doing the game stream on ESPN's app where you've got the little graphic showing you each pitch. Mm-hmm. So it feels a bit like a fine line, but mostly I'm starting to feel like I'm not doing my job, and that's not good.
Well, I will tell you that Friday night I had as some people would say, in like 1938. I had a devil of a time trying to get the app to work, the Fubo app. It was really pissing me off. It took me close to an hour to actually watch the game. And by the time I was able to watch it, it was like the sixth inning. And I didn't start right away trying to watch it when the first pitch came, but I was trying to get in there. And by the time I got in there, it was the sixth inning. I was not very happy with it. But then again, it's a free trial, so how can I be that pissed?
Well, with that said, Tigers do drop 2 of 3 to the Astros over the weekend, and we've reached the 40-game mark, and sure enough, they're 20-20. I mean, that in some ways, I feel like that's almost predictable as to how it was going to go down, but we will discuss the Tigers. JV yesterday, Tiger bullpen coming back to earth a little bit, Torque getting his home run, the schedule lightening up, but the reality is they just have to play better and try and get back to the formula where they're winning phases of the game, where their starters are better than the other team's starters, where their bullpen's better than the other team's bullpen, and then their defense isn't hurting them. Or the hitting needs to come around if some of those other parts are going to start showing some leakage as well. But we'll talk plenty of Tigers today throughout the show. I mean, I feel like on the marquee this weekend is, of course, the Pistons didn't win the lottery. And of course, they had the worst case scenario play itself out. Detroit teams, we've had our share of luck. We had the Darko pick where the Pistons got the number 2 pick in the draft for an Otis Thorpe trade a million years prior and ended up, unfortunately, blowing it with Darko, and we won the Cade Cunningham draft. But what we're mostly accustomed to in Detroit is getting absolutely screwed in the lottery, and it happened again, and it's happened in unprecedented ways to Detroit teams. And, yeah, the Pistons, sure, there was a good chance that this was going to happen, but the fact that it never happened to anybody else and now it's happened to us back-to-back years is incredible. And I'm not happy about it. I know some people have taken on a laissez-faire, apathetic, they get what they deserve attitude towards it. I'm not in that camp at all. I'll explain why today at 10:16. Plus your Champ and Chump votes. We do it every Monday. Champ and Chump of the weekend. Who should be singled out for having the best weekend? Who should be called out for having a weekend that stinks? We'll have our nominations today at 10:35. But it's really the People's Choice Award, so we want to hear from you. Let's get them in. Champ and Chump votes here on Karsch and Anderson. On a Monday, hope everybody had a great weekend. Karsch and Anderson, 97.1. Hey, Sarah Chevrolet in Sterling Heights, they're getting psyched for the summer with mega deals all month long. Right now, you can lease an Equinox at $239 a month or a Trax at $228 a month. Those are both LX front-wheel drive, and they're 2-year leases with only $19.99 down. Unlock the savings with their GM employee discounts and lease in your household. Right now, you can lease a new Chevy Silverado for just $379 a month with no money down. You heard it right, $379 a month for 24 months on a 1500 4x4 Crew Cab LT. Unlock the savings with a GM employee discount and Chevy lease in your household. Don't forget, Sarah Chevrolet in Sterling Heights is your #1 volume Chevy dealer in Michigan. That means they have a huge inventory of Silverados, Equinoxes, Blazers, and Trax. Hundreds on the ground to choose from. Sarah Chevrolet, Sterling Heights, with a guarantee the lowest price or it's free. 17.5 in Van Dyke in Sterling Heights. Call 87-SAY-SARAH. You heard the jingle. Let me hear you say it. SERRA, or go to saysarah.com. Together, let's drive. See dealer for details and get there fast because all offers end on the 3rd of June.
$50,000 to $350,000. And these homeowners can then pay for trips, vacations, gutters, new garage doors. It's truly amazing, not only that we're able to serve them, but it's what else they're able to do with the money that they save. So if you think you need a roof on your home, just go to theroofresource.com, submit your information. We will give you a call. We'll send you out an estimate within a couple hours, and you'll know the exact numbers to get a brand new roof on your home. Are you dreading the thought of having a salesman come to your home when you need a new roof? That changes now. I'm Mike Harvey, founder of The Roof Resource, and shopping for a new roof has never been easier. We provide a complete new roof with quality shingles, expert installation, and family pricing for everyone. If you want a 5-star customer experience, all done virtually, then visit theroofresource.com. This is the new, no-pressure way to get a new roof on your home. To learn more, visit theroofresource.com. That's theroofresource.com. We have removed the confusion out of the roof buying process and made it simple for the homeowner. I went to see a client and he had a price from $12,000 to $24,000, but he had decided on a company for about $15,000. He found the Roof Resource. We did it for $9,100. And so what he did with the extra money is he bought a pool for his kids. And to me, that was amazing. Homeowners, when they know that they need to get a roof, all of a sudden it's, I don't know what I don't know, what goes into a roof, and they have to go out to the market, go get 3 quotes from 3 different companies. They then have to schedule those appointments, they have to go through sales presentations, then they get presented with 3 different products, and then 3 different price points. And they've spent maybe 6 to 8 hours. They're then sitting with, who do I choose? So it's like they've gone through all of this to still get, I don't know which one to choose. Who wants a customer experience like that? So we take the confusion out of the process that homeowners go through and we simplify it for them so that then they can actually see how simple it really is. And they're so blown away because we're saving them literally thousands of dollars from their lowest estimate. We have some clients that we're saving $20,000. They will call us up and just say, how can you do this? How do you make money? It's not only what we're saving homeowners, it's really about how much more money that we're putting into the communities. And to date, so far, the byproduct of the roofs that we've done, it's been anywhere from $250,000 to $350,000. And these homeowners can then pay for trips, vacations, gutters, new garage doors. It's truly amazing, not only that we're able to serve them, but it's what else they're able to do with the money that they save. So if you think you need a roof on your home, just go to theroofresource.com, submit your information. We will give you a call. We'll send you out an estimate within a couple
Scott
hours.
Anderson, 97.1
exact numbers to get a brand new roof on your home.
A lot to discuss today. And we have open lines, so wherever you want to take it. It's one thing we like. The listeners kind of dictate the direction the show is going to go. So 248-539-9797. What's up? But something I want to get off my chest here a little bit, Gator.
All right, well, have at it, man.
Lottery, Pistons, worst case scenario. Again, the league's worst record this year. They fell to number 5. It's the second consecutive year the Pistons have had the worst record and fell to the 5th pick, the worst case scenario. We made fun of the NHL for all its convoluted stuff, but the NHL really guards against teams jumping up too high and falling too far. But the NBA, I mean, they've got this system in place, and essentially the Pistons are being held accountable for something that they're not doing. And what I mean by that is that the lottery is weighted in such a way to decentivize tanking. They don't want teams trying to lose at the end to improve their chances of getting the number 1 overall pick. So the worst team in the league, it isn't really balanced in favor of that team. The problem that we have processing here is we in Detroit, fortunately, very authentically have the worst team in the league.
Right.
There is no tanking here. There is no intent behind this. They are the worst team in the NBA. And they have been the last 2 years. 2 years ago, some of it was injuries played a bigger role.
Both seasons, injuries played a massive role.
It hasn't helped. But when you are authentically the worst team in the league and you continue to get punished by a rule set up to guard against something that you don't do, it really is hard not to want to give a finger to the system.
Well, I push back a little bit because I do think that there was some tanking going on by the Pistons. I think that they shut guys down early just because they knew that this was a bad team. And let's shut them down. Don't need to risk pushing them to get them back for the last 20 games or whatever. And guys didn't play. And I think you saw a lot of that. So I can't compare it to the other teams because I wasn't paying attention to how, was Washington doing the same thing, or were the other really bad teams doing the exact same thing? I know the Pistons didn't play without their best players down the stretch, and you can't tell me that they were all, like, if this was the beginning of the season, that they'd be sitting out.
The difference in reward for being the 1 seed or the 2 seed isn't nearly worth shutting people down just to get that tiny little bit of difference in the chances that you're going to win the lottery. Additionally, we all know that this is one of the least hyped draft classes ever. Like, I don't think that they were doing anything with this massive incentive to get to the top, and especially the last 2 years combined. They have authentically stunk, and we are getting screwed over because of this system.
Well, if this isn't, I get the result is they have the draft lottery and the Pistons end up with the worst pick they could possibly have gotten, which is the 5th overall pick. But do we need to be complaining about it if this is supposed to be such a bad draft?
As a general rule, no. But I'll tell you why I'm complaining about it. I'm complaining about it because there seems to be a resignation right now in Detroit. I think some people aren't complaining about it because there's a resignation that they're going to screw it up anyway. Mm-hmm. They would screw it up, and this isn't a draft where it get. But here's a major issue. The Pistons still have yet to get their house in order. We don't know who's making the pick yet.
Nope.
And as much as there might be cynicism over Tom Gores going out and selecting the right person to make a pick, and we've already heard that people are turning down this, like even interviewing for this job, which is a whole nother topic that we can get into. But to already be resigned to the fact that the person that will making the pick will F it up because it very well might not be Troy Weaver is such a fatalistic and negative approach. I can't do that. You have a chance to go out and get your Brad Holmes. Brad Holmes took what he had and cooked, man. And the idea that Gores, you say, Gores is never going to do it. Really, because the Ford family was never going to do it. The Ford family had decades of hiring the wrong people until they got the right person. Tom Gores' track record of not having the right people in place is really short compared to the Ford family, who nailed it with Brad Holmes. So it was less likely that they were going to get it right than the Pistons can get it right. And so the other thing about just assuming that not having the top pick is no big deal because this draft stinks, we know better than to paint the draft as an exact science. I can almost guarantee that there is a star available in this draft. It's just less obvious who it is. Additionally, there's no prospect that if you have the number 1 pick that everyone is saying, you have to take this guy. It allows a new GM to go do whatever he wants, to go scout and say, I'm not afraid. I'm not being forced into taking a player that everyone else thinks is a consensus player. I can take whoever I want. So if you hire the right guy who can really get down into the weeds and scout and do their job to figure out who the star that's going to come out of this draft is, then they can feel comfortable taking that player number 1 overall without heavy scrutiny for going against the grain and people putting you on the hot seat already. So, no, this isn't ideal. And no, this isn't a great draft. And yes, it'd be better to be picking number 1 in the Victor Wembanyama year than this. But I'm not, I guess I don't subscribe to the all is lost theory, and it doesn't matter. They got what they deserve. This sucks.
Well, it does suck. It could, because, as you've said, this is the worst team in basketball and has been for a couple of years. And over the last however many years you want to say, yeah, the Pistons could make a run at saying worst franchise in the NBA over the last 10 years. I also, like you, believe that there is a superstar in this draft. Mm-hmm. It just happens. It's the odds. Everybody keeps telling us this is worst draft. I don't know if I'm buying it or not, Because what we don't know, we don't watch the international players play all the time. And if you look at any of these mock drafts or top prospects available, whatever you want to do, your big boards, they're littered with players from overseas that we don't see, and neither does anybody else except for people over there. And those guys they're playing 15 minutes a game. It's not like they're getting 35 minutes and scoring 35 points. That's just not how it is. It's all projection. Mm-hmm. So I'm not willing to throw in a towel and say this is just a bad draft. I don't know if it is or isn't. If you look at some metrics, and it's not even metrics, it's statistics. Some guys are shooting the ball really well even in college. I think it's Kentucky has a couple of players that are shooting extraordinarily well from 3-point range. What do the Pistons need? 3-point shooting. So if one of those guys is there at 5, fair enough. Okay, is it going to be a superstar player? It doesn't have to be, but it needs to be somebody who can shoot, which this team isn't. I guess my point is they can find something they can use, but the first thing they have to find is the guy who can find. They need to find the right guy without question. And yeah, am I going to say all is lost because Tom Gores owns the team? No, I'm not going to say that, because all you have to do is find the right person to lead the organization. Like you said, the Fords did it. It may not be easy to do.
No.
And I don't expect it to be easy, but you have to keep trying to do it. Now, I don't like how this search is already starting. I don't like hearing how people are still actually have their jobs right now. Maybe that's just hey, you're holding your seat for a little bit here until I hire the guy, then everybody's getting broomed out, and maybe that's likely. I don't like when NBA insider Mark Stein comes out and says that the Milwaukee Bucks have denied general manager John Horst permission to interview with the Pistons job. I don't like hearing that.
No.
Because that sounds like, wait a minute, that could be the right guy. Can't get him. Why not? Well, because Milwaukee doesn't want you talking to him for what would be, I guess, technically a lateral move. So I don't like how this is already starting. But I'm not giving up hope that all is lost here. I mean, there are really smart basketball minds all throughout the NBA and college basketball and wherever else. They just have to find them.
Right, gotcha. Then the scary part, and there's a bunch of scary parts. The scary part is that the Pistons, we can interpret people not wanting to even interview for the job as they think it's all lost.
Mm-hmm.
And that sucks. But that's not really, I mean, I'm not trying to sell anybody that the Pistons is a great job. There's somebody out there that will take this job that can do a good job with it.
I would think that if you're an aspiring general manager or director of basketball, player personnel, or whatever the hell it is, president of basketball operations, whatever they're going to call it, if you look at this situation and you see, all right, I've got some young players to work with, we've got some cap space, I've got an owner who clearly spends money, right?
Yes.
I mean, there's no question he spends money, maybe even in a stupid fashion, whatever, okay? But that to me seems like you've got some tools to work with if you're good enough to work with the tools.
248-539-9797. Phone calls, feedback. Bad luck again for a Detroit team in a lottery is, I mean, look, you might be looking at it completely differently out there. I am not all is lost. Give up. Who cares? They get what they deserve. Gator really isn't either. In the meantime, we got Champ and Chump. We'll get to our nominations today at 10:35 here on 97.1 The Ticket.
Are you dreading the thought of having a salesman come to your home when you need a new roof? That changes now. I'm Mike Harvey, founder of The Roof Resource, and shopping for a new roof has never been easier. We provide a complete new roof with quality shingles, expert installation, and family pricing for everyone. If you want a 5-star customer experience, all done virtually, then visit theroofresource.com. This is the new, no-pressure way to get a new roof on your home. To learn more, visit theroofresource.com. That's theroofresource.com. We have removed the confusion out of the roof buying process and made it simple for the homeowner. I went to see a client and he had a price from $12,000 to $24,000, but he had decided on a company for about $15,000. He found the Roof Resource. We did it for $9,100. And so what he did with the extra money is he bought a pool for his kids. And to me, that was amazing. Homeowners, when they know that they need to get a roof, all of a sudden it's, I don't know what I don't know. What goes into a roof, and they have to go out to the market, go get 3 quotes from 3 different companies. They then have to schedule those appointments. They have to go through sales presentations. Then they get presented with 3 different products and then 3 different price points. And they've spent maybe 6 to 8 hours. They're then sitting with, who do I choose? So it's like they've gone through all of this to still get, I don't know which one to choose. Who wants a customer experience like that? So we take the confusion out of the process that homeowners go through and we simplify it for them so that then they can actually see how simple it really is. And they're so blown away because we're saving them literally thousands of dollars from their lowest estimate. We have some clients that we're saving $20,000. They will call us up and just say, how can you do this? How do you make money? It's not only what we're saving homeowners, it's really about how much more money that we're putting into the communities. And to date, so far, the byproduct of the roofs that we've done, it's been anywhere from $250,000 to $350,000. And these homeowners can then pay for trips, vacations, gutters, new garage doors. It's truly amazing, not only that we were able to serve them, but it's what else they're able to do with the money that they save. So if you think you need a roof on your home, just go to theroofresource.com, submit your information. We will give you a call. We'll send you out an estimate within a couple hours, and you'll know the exact numbers to get a brand new roof on your home. Are you dreading the thought of having a salesman come to your home when you need a new roof? That changes now. I'm Mike Harvey, founder of The Roof Resource, and shopping for a new roof has never been easier. We provide a
Doug Carr,
complete
Scott
new roof
Anderson,
with
97
quality
won the ticket.
shingles,
Open
expert
lines,
installation,
248-539-9797. Got a Lions topic we'll get to coming up today. The next 20 minutes or so, because it impacts a lot of you. And I do want to hear what you have to say. Champ and Chump, we'll get to our votes today at 10:35, and we're already bringing in some votes. We'll start tallying them up here shortly.
Doug, something else we forgot about the draft lottery that is just extra special. Not only are the Pistons picking the worst they could possibly pick at 5.
Yep.
The Spurs moved up again from 8 to 4.
We documented last year when the Spurs won the Wembanyama draft how the Spurs have had the most luck. They average moving up in lotteries, while the Pistons average moving down in lotteries. And the amount of the number of spots the Spurs average jumping up would just make you want to go out and commit a felony somewhere. Like, it's so frustrating how far up that organization seems to jump every year. And look, we've had our share of lottery luck. I'm not even really complaining that much because the Pistons, I guess I am complaining a lot. I'm complaining a lot because of recent history and the added frustration to the fact that their incompetence is also held out by lack of good luck. They're held back by that. Now, I'm not going all woe is me. I don't believe in, you get what you deserve and sort of fatalistic. I want them to crush it anyway, and we don't even know who's making the pick. And that's why I'm not going to say that, they're going to screw it up anyway.
Yeah, we all know the organization the past few years they've been terrible. They made terrible decisions, and I was a big believer in Troy Weaver, and I've been wrong. I will take that L. I think he still has a decent eye from talent from a scouting perspective, but as building a roster, he's done a terrible job of putting together a winning basketball team.
Yeah, he's been able to find maybe some good players, but this team does not play as a team. They haven't played as a team. And is it because he's done such a horrible job in putting that team together? Is it injuries? Is it part of it all? They all tie together? I think we all agree it's time to move on, find somebody else to give it a shot.
Yeah, so I'm hoping whoever they hire, next as the president of basketball operations decides to move on from Troy, but they'll figure that out on its own. As far as the lottery is concerned, I understand the percentages. I think it just seems way too. I'm speaking for Piston fans here because I'm a big Piston fan. it just seems so punitive for a team that's clearly, for the worst team in the league, whether it's the Pistons or any other team, to drop from possibly 1 to 5. What I would change is the worst team in the league must at least have a top 3 pick. It's basically you draw for the top 2 picks, and then everything else slots in order of record. And that way, it's not as punitive to the worst team in the league. And you can argue injuries and all this stuff. It's clear, I think, even if they were healthy, they were the worst team in the league. I almost feel like they should have got automatically the first overall pick when they lost 28 games in a row or whatever it was. Like, when they did that, they should have just ended the lottery system for this year and goes, you know what? You've been awarded the top pick. You guys are so bad.
Cookies this morning said that he would have done you can slip no more than one. Then they would only have one drawing for the top pick.
Draw for the first. Yeah, I guess mine is draw for the top 2.
I like yours better because I think give it another round, and that you can do no worse than third worst third pick in the draft. 5th is absolutely ridiculous. This is as bad as when the Red Wings got screwed the one year when they were 20 points worse than any other team in the NHL, and they were absolutely 100% trying to win games.
Well, one thing that we know is likely to happen. The thing about this whole thing is that they're likely to change rules because a Detroit team, like we are always,
thank you for helping
stuff that happens to us is often looked at as so incredibly unfair that the rules get changed. We've seen this over and over.
So we'll get the draft in a few years then.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but here's the silver lining, and I like your positive way of looking at it, Doug. I am not giving up. You still can find a good player, whether it's 1, 5, or 15. You must find a good player because there will be one, if not more than one, right, in this draft. We all agree on that. When they draft 5, so they're probably not going to take one of these overseas type guys who are real projects with high ceilings. Maybe you're able to draft a guy who's played college ball, whether it be 1 year or 2 year, but you've seen him play at UConn or Kentucky or Kansas, right? Maybe you get a better player that way. That just this is a blessing in disguise, maybe, instead of taking a risk on a foreign guy.
Yeah, well, I've started down the highlight wormhole. It's too early to say I like a guy or not, but because there's a lot of foreigners at the top of the board. So
I don't know what to make of it.
Yeah. All right. So let's get to Champ and Jump. My champ of the weekend, Gator, is Tarik Skubal. 5-0. His numbers didn't reflect his best outing on Saturday, but 5-0 on a 500 team, dominant pitcher, strong candidate early here for American League Cy Young. I love Tarik Skubal, so he is my champ of the weekend.
He's been phenomenal, and then even if he has a rough inning, he settles down quickly, and then most players down like what he's done. I'm going to go with the Florida Panthers. Now they have a 3-1 series lead over the Boston Bruins. It's beautiful, particularly after Boston complained about Marchand getting decked in I think it was Game 3. Just got drilled over by the boards as he was about to lay a hit on one of the players. I think it was Sam Bennett. He was about to hit from Florida, but Bennett was ready for it, hit him back, and Marchand got knocked silly, missed the game. Now they're up 3-1, and thank you, Boston, for taking care of Toronto. Now kindly exit stage left. My chump of the weekend, Gator, is, it might be one in perpetuity, but Xfinity and Bally's. This is absurd what's going on, and the lack of accessibility to most of our community to Tiger baseball is overly punitive for what they are doing. And I mean, find a way to say, okay, we got one more month, give them another month, but you got to get this stuff on TV. This is terrible. And you're not helping yourselves. None of us are, I think a lot of us are like, who cares whose fault it is? I'm mad at both of you. But anyway, Xfinity and Bally's my chump. Yeah, I'm going to go with the NBA, and we just discussed it. Look, soon there's going to be changes to the draft lottery because the Pistons got screwed again while having the worst team in basketball. I agree with King. This is bound to happen. All right, get your champ and chump votes in, and many of them have come in so far here on Carson Anderson. From John in Lake Orion, my champ, Nick Castellanos, for hitting a home run in honor of his late dog. My chump, Cedar Point, for their new Death Trap roller coaster. It's on the show sheet, something to talk about today. Champ, Jonathan Smith, he's low-key rounding out his roster for his first MSU team, adding more guys this weekend. Who knows what it means for this year. Chump, the NBA, for their stupid draft lottery. That's from Mark in Grand Rapids. Matt in East Lansing, my champ is the NHL playoffs. I feel like anyone can win the cup, and every game in the second round has been excellent. Chump, Sam Bennett for sucker punching Brad Marchand. I'm not a Bruins fan by any means, but that was such a dirty play by Bennett. Unnamed texter, my champ is Brad Keselowski, first owner-driver to win since 2016. My chump is Brad Marchand because he's Brad Marchand. Did you see the play? I have not. So Boston's saying that Bennett sucker punch or punches him with his right arm that kind of comes across as they're about to collide. It looks like it's just a normal collision. Now maybe his arm came forward and hit him in the face while he's doing it. I don't think I don't know. It didn't look to me like it was an intentional punch to the side of Marchand's face. But even if it was, why are people defending Brad Marchand getting hit? Hasn't this guy done enough dirty stuff in his life?
Yep.
Where it's just karma at this point?
I mean, there's a little bit of, I'm just watching the hit. There's a little bit to me of this is one of the reasons he got hit is because he's Brad Marchand, because players know what he's capable of, and it's ice justice. If that were another Bruin, I'm not sure that would have happened.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Feedback coming in. If you're fine with how the NBA is running its lottery, you need to have your head checked. Atlanta made the first round of the playoffs. They have no business being in the lottery. Unnamed texter, the real issue with the draft is the worst team in the league's most likely draft position should not be fifth. Yeah, I mean, look,
that's where the odds shake out.
The way the odds shake out. Yep.
Agree.
Tony and Macomb, Detroit sports versus lotteries should be a documentary. This is getting ridiculous.
What if I told you?
From an unnamed texter, the Ford comparison is terrible. William Clay Ford and Martha were terrible. I don't see Gorse coming in anytime soon.
Well, Martha wasn't terrible.
I will tell you this, too. Considering that the bulk of our career, we have taken texts and phone calls and could have every single day that the Lions would never be good, quote, as long as the Fords own the team. We took that. We could have done that every single day, Gator, since our show started 18 years ago. Could have done it prior to that when I worked with Art and you were working at other shifts. Could have done it back when I was working at another radio station. That the Lions will never be good till the Fords sell the team. So I'm going to stick with it. Sorry. 248-539-9797. Speaking of the Lions, something going on that impacts all of us. It's got a lot of talk this offseason already. Well, impacts many of you. I shouldn't say all of us. But we will get to that today at 10:50 here on Carson Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket. I just looked down at Twitch. People can watch the show on Twitch. Go to twitch.tv, search up 971 The Ticket. You can also watch the show on YouTube. Go to youtube.com. Same thing. Search up 971 The Ticket video stream run by our guy, Ben. Thank you, Ben. And thank you to everybody who participates in the streaming chat. Big D Dog on Twitch says Champ Torque, who's now on pace for 4 home runs this season. Jump the NBA draft.
Come on.
That wasn't the bold-ass prediction we took. It wasn't 4 home runs. It was 40 home runs this year, guys. Not 4.
I did call it.
Okay.
I did say, did I not say May was his month?
You did, Doug. And Gator called the follow-up. Now within, 15 at-bats you said for the next one?
Yep.
Okay.
That's right.
That's what I said. I said when he hits them, they're going to start coming in bunches. Let's hope so. Because if you, well, I saw the highlight on Twitter because people would tweet it out because I have Xfinity and I can't watch it. He got all of that one. He got all of that. It was a pretty good swing. He deposited that one. It was a no-doubter 2-run homer in a 9th inning of a game that you had no chance to win.
Yep. Had very little significance other than it broke the streak.
I imagine he's breathing.
Yep.
And they were that close to getting Colt Keith in the same place. He drilled one off of Verlander that, unfortunately for Colt Keith, was to the deepest part of the ballpark, and 383 feet was not enough to go over the fence.
Yeah, look, it's Comerica Park. We got it. It impacts both teams, and I.
In fairness, it would have been a home run in only half the ballparks of baseball.
Right.
So, but people don't need to just start.
It's not. That wasn't 100%.
No.
Yeah.
You hit it well, but not out.
All right. So news breaking this morning that the Detroit Lions have sold out their season ticket allotment for the 2nd straight year. And this is interesting because we're in a weird place in that nobody likes what the Lions did in terms of raising their ticket prices. When they made that announcement a while ago, people were a little shocked at how much they were raising their ticket prices. Unfortunately, that's one of the very few downsides of winning is the product and the ticket becomes more coveted on the open market. And when you're a business, and they are indeed a business, and you're looking at the product that you sell being sold for more elsewhere, meaning if I price a $100 ticket and then on the open market, that $100 ticket is going for $350. You start to go, okay, other people are profiting off this by margins that we could profit off of. And look, I don't like it either, but many of our listening audience, whatever you do for a living, if I told you that you could make more money doing it, how many of you would say no? Now, there's a little bit of a strange relationship between fans and organizations, and that we feel ownership of the team. We feel like the team is ours, and we feel like we want our team to be accessible to us. And I hate that some of the hardcore fans might get priced out, especially if you weathered years of losing where your $100 ticket on the secondary market would fetch $40. Now that your $100 ticket could fetch $300 or $350, and I'm making these numbers up, but just as an example, you're like, okay, so I invested through the bad years, and now that we're entering what we expect to be good years, I get priced out. That blows. That absolutely sucks. And then the other side of the coin, unfortunately, is what I said at the beginning. If you're an owner of a business, would you turn down higher profits? If you're a worker at a business, would you turn down a raise? And that's sort of the catch-22 of your team winning more. So look, and then the ticket prices go up and they sell out anyway. Now the problem is, and I remember this happened during the Red Wings era, when fans that could afford it sort of got banished to the upper bowl of the Joe, and there was real animosity from the upper bowl crowd towards what was referred to as the lower bowl Olympia room crowd that was just there to corporate tickets, entertaining clients, having them down in the Olympia room when the second period starts and there's swaths of empty seats that weren't being occupied by, I put in quotes, real fans who were there for the hockey game. Because the more the prices go up, the more those tickets will be moved away from fans and into the hands of corporations that can afford the tickets and use the tickets to entertain. All of this sucks for the fan, except for the winning. The winning is great, but they sold out. And I remember once having somebody tell me, you know what the length of the perfect waiting list is? If you have a waiting list, it tells me as a business owner that the ticket price is too low. Because as a business owner, when I'm trying to maximize profits, and that's my job, you want to raise the ticket prices until that waiting list is zero. Now, the problem with that, of course, and very rarely does this happen. I do remember the Pistons did it back when they were kind of struggling and banished to irrelevancy. They cut their season ticket prices dramatically and suddenly started filling up the Palace again with a less than great product. Too frequently, that doesn't happen. But anyway, they sold out. So I guess the question to you, the Lions fan is, and the season ticket holder, A, did you bite the bullet? Or B, did you let your tickets go? Because enough people either renewed or got off the waiting list finally. Because there's probably some of you out there that have been on the waiting list, and maybe, I don't know this for a fact, but maybe with the ticket prices rising, you got your chance finally because some season ticket holders gave up their tickets.
I'd imagine there'd be some people out there that are certainly they're bummed if they couldn't get the season tickets, but what they can look at it and say, well, really what I want is the playoff ticket. So if I save money by not getting the season tickets, I can use that money that I would have bought for a whole season and put it on a playoff ticket because that's what people really want. A lot of people also buy season tickets because they think the team's going to be good so they can get the playoff tickets. They get the first crack at them, right? Because they're season ticket holders. So there's silver linings abound, but you're still going to have to spend money, which is the ultimate bummer of this whole thing is that, okay, team's great, love it, but we're going to have to spend more money to really root them on and see them in person. But I don't think that's something that people are really lamenting. I think it's one of these, oh, man, that part sucks. But it's not like I can't watch the team.
No.
It's just that I'm getting priced out of going to the stadium and watching it. Now, there'll be games that people get discounted. They'll be able to find a cheaper ticket than they expected because there'll be people out there that buy the tickets solely to sell the tickets. And then they see the people aren't buying them on a secondary market, and at the last minute they end up snatching them up for a fraction of the cost.
So the other thing that you can consider is, and this is, it's like playing the stock market. If the ticket price goes up and you can't afford it, can you find a way to pay the premium, get the ticket, and then turn around and sell enough of your tickets for profit? Whether it just be, like you mentioned, the playoff, you just want the playoff games, or can you figure out, all right, if I sell these 3 regular season games
right
at this price, can I make up the difference? I assume it's going to be a coveted ticket again, but that's always a risk.
Well, there are people I know that have done that buy season tickets solely to sell them on a secondary market. They use it as...
They never go?
No. That they'll do it only to...
I don't love that.
To make it... Well, I mean, it is what it is. It's like they're their own little, broker, but that's how it works. I mean, if you can... Like for Michigan football tickets, for instance, right? If you got Ohio State on the schedule, or Penn State on the schedule, or Michigan State on the schedule, that those are 3 games that you're going to be able to get a premium for your tickets.
I wonder how many people last year that had been season ticket holders and waited forever to see a home playoff game, then turned around and sold those because they could make too much money.
I think it ends up being, what's your price? Yeah. And nope, not going to do it. Not going to do it. Okay, would you do it for this? Nope, not going to do it. Not going to do it. Would you do it for this? Nope, not going to do it. Did you know that you can get $3,500 for your ticket sold?
Yeah, because I don't.
Everybody has their price.
They do. And yet, could you imagine being a longtime season ticket holder and waiting and waiting and waiting? And then the irony of getting an offer you can't refuse and passing on going to that home playoff game? Like, I would think that was your finish line. That was all of the hard work and the suffering you put in, and now the reward, and you turn around and sell your ticket. And I don't want to make it sound like I'm shaming them. I'm not. I'm just saying it's just kind of ironic that I'm sure there are people that did that.
Of course.
Yep.
I mean, they're excited. It could be like the week leading up to it. You're all excited. I'm going to the game. This is why I got season tickets.
Mm-hmm.
And then the $1 million man creeps up in your head and says, everybody's got their price. Look at that secondary market. And you look and you see that your ticket that you have effectively paid $300 for is now worth 10 times that. Oh, well, I
know, right?
it would be that. Would you like cash?
I'm intrigued at how Lions season ticket holders have approached their tickets being coveted last year, 2 home playoff games, ticket prices raising, but they're still sold out, which tells me if you made the choice to re-up your season tickets when you hear that they still sold out, does that put you in okay, my ticket still has value and I should be able to make up some of the cost by selling a game or two here?
Or those people, are they buying the season tickets to sell the tickets during the regular season, but only to hang on to their ticket for the postseason?
Yeah. What's your approach, Lions fan? 248-539-9797. It's Carson Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket. Well, we all know about this Detroit baseball team getting off to a decent enough start to pique your interest, and as angry as most people are about the new streaming setup, get yourself to Twin Peaks and enjoy all the games in the best environment imaginable. That's right, watch them at Twin Peaks. The beautiful Twin Peaks girls wait to enhance your game day experience, serving you up that 29-degree draft beer that you crave. But it's not just about the beer and the girls. They have a scratch kitchen that is sure to quench any appetite. Signature items like their hand-cut New York strips, smoked in-house brisket and ribs, the all-new, never-frozen, breaded to order wings and tenders, and the awesome favorites like their Chipotle chicken, the trophy trout. They're sure to keep you wanting more. So combine your favorite baseball action with the beautiful Twin Peaks girls, the extensive collection of your favorite cocktails, including high-end bourbons, whiskeys, and tequilas, and the scratch kitchen that blows away the competition. Why go anywhere else? Even I love the food. If you don't know, their happy hour is off the chain. Get there from 3 to 6, 10 to close to enjoy all these favorites. How about this deal? A shot, a beer, an app, and 3 tacos for less than $20. Perfect way to let the traffic die down on your commute home, watch some Tiger baseball, and satisfy that appetite late night. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Brought to you by CGC Water Treatment. The Tigers have some more interleague play tonight as Miami comes to town. The Marlins sit at the bottom of the NL East with a 11-31 record. Detroit scored 3 runs in the ninth after Houston dominated them for most of the game yesterday. A.J. Hinch hopes the good ABs late in the blowout carry over to the first pitches today. With Kenta Maeda heading to the IL with his viral illness, Matt Manning will make the start today. He's pitched 3 games in the MLB this season, tossing 17 innings with a .424 ERA. The Lions announcing today that season tickets have already sold out. Deposits are being taken for the 2025 season. With minicamp complete, Lions beat writer Justin Rogers weighs in on the biggest factor the team still needs to figure out in the next couple months. The NFL also releasing the first game of the season this morning. It's Ravens and Chiefs, a rematch of the AFC Championship on Thursday, September 5th, a game that will air on NBC and NFL+. At the Coral Health Update Desk, I'm Jeremy Otto. For more, go to 97.1 The Ticket or Odyssey.com.
Doug Carr, Scott Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket. Yeah, that news that the Lions have sold out their season tickets. We're in a weird place, man. And I feel bad for fans that have weathered tough times and finally the good times come and the season ticket prices jump. But it's unfortunately, that's business. And it happens a lot. But now here we sit and they sold out anyway. They sold out anyway, which I guess shouldn't come as a huge shock, right? I mean, people expected them to sell out, and I'm sure there's some people that got priced out, and nobody likes that. And we've talked about how, I mean, we remember the Red Wings back in the day when the lower bowl was filled with corporate seats and people would get frustrated because it felt like a lot of times those seats went empty.
Well, and when LCA first opened up, it was the new hotness to go, if you had tickets in that lower bowl area, to go right to the clubs, because there are multiple clubs at LCA, and people would just watch the game there because you had free food and drinks.
Yep. 248-539-9797. Let's get to your phone calls. We go to Jeff. You're on 97.1 The Ticket. Hi, Jeff.
Hello. How are you?
Okay.
Good. Yeah. No, they raised my price. I got my invoice this year, and it was up 143% over last year. And I thought, I'm hearing 30-some% increases, 60-some% increases. And so I called them up, and they said, oh, no, that's no joke. So that's what my increase was, so substantial. And, it took us about 2 seconds to think about it, but we still renewed them. But I called the stadium, and they put a clause in there for our tickets that basically telling us it's all a revocable license, and that if we sell too many tickets or give too many tickets away, because they track this now online, that you can actually lose your tickets. And I know 3 people that this happened to in the last year.
What is deemed too many?
It specifies, selling tickets for purposes non-conducive to your, to a normal season ticket holder, which I asked the same question to my representative, and they would not answer that specific question.
That seems unfair.
It is.
In fact, that seems so unfair. And look, I'm not doubting you. I feel like maybe something was lost in the interpretation, because that seems way too punitive to the average person and unfair.
It's ambiguous by design, I'm sure.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what the rules are, if they clearly state that, you can only sell a certain number of tickets and they have you tracked. And
I mean, once you bought the ticket, it's yours to resell, right?
Not exactly.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
so we've got
Help
some
me out,
we've
yeah.
got some ticket text on this. I don't know for sure. I've spoken to a couple of season ticket holders. There's fine print, of course, in everything nowadays, right?
Yep.
And I'm paraphrasing here, but in the fine print, they're subject to revoke your season tickets or your tickets if you. He's right. There is a certain amount of games I think you cannot sell them. Like you can't sell more than 5 games a year or something like that, and they are able
you
to
making
track
that
you.
up?
Yeah. I don't know the
Okay,
exact
gotcha.
number, but they're saying what the Lions are saying, and any other team that does this in the NFL are saying it's a privilege that you are able to have these tickets, and we can take them away from you if you violate any of our, protocol and what the subject to right. You know.
I think they can do that.
Yeah. So that's what it is. Like so. If you have a guy out there who just bought season tickets to flip every single game, he's probably going to lose his privileges to season tickets.
I don't like that they haven't given you. Shouldn't they at least give you a number so you
Well,
know?
I bet there may be a number. I just don't know the exact
Okay,
number.
maybe somebody can
yeah.
help us out. Although he said they didn't.
Someone texted earlier it was 5 games. I don't know if that's true or not. That's through Ticket Text.
You may not be reading through all the fine print of your,
Your agreement.
Yeah, exactly. You just get X and sign, and here's my credit card number for the deposit.
They want the people buying the tickets to be the ones attending the
Well,
games.
I also don't think they want their tickets to be used as a profit center for scalpers.
No, they want to do that themselves.
Yep.
Honestly,
And the truth is, we've heard this before, that there are tickets that are held back that they then resell at higher prices for premium games. 248-539-9797. Justin is next. Hi, Justin.
Hey, fellas.
Hey.
So I'm super stoked. This year, I'm a first-year season ticket holder. I'm fortunate enough that my boss, he's a 30-year season ticket holder, so I was able to get my season tickets through him. And while the price was astronomical, yes, we all know about the increase, I'm fortunate enough to be able to have access and to be able to afford them. Originally, I was thinking, like, man, this is expensive. Maybe I'll just go to, 2 or 3 games. I'll sell the rest, try to recoup some costs. But, I've already paid for the tickets, and as the excitement grows, now I'm starting to think, man, maybe I'll, go to the majority of the games. I got friends that want to go, so I'm super stoked. And on the contrary of what you guys were talking about, so my boss, 30-year season ticket holder for many, many years, he sold all the tickets, every single home game, just trying to recoup the cost. But this past season, he actually took his son, his wife, and his stepson to every single home game because the team was so good and they had a blast. So, I get the cynicism. The price is outrageous, but like the news reports, the tickets sold out because people want to go. So it's I get it, and it sucks because it's expensive for the average person, especially if you want to take, your kids and your wife or whatever. I mean, that's you could go on a small vacation for the cost of a 3-hour football game. So I get it both ways, but I'm stoked as a first-year season ticket holder.
Yeah, well, enjoy, and like you said, you're fortunate enough, and good for you. And I I hate it for the average fan. I hate it for the person that can't afford it. And I hate it because it feels like all the suffering that people who were able to afford it were able to finally get rewarded, and then bam, the ticket prices go way up. But it's got to be tough if you're the organization too, seeing your ticket prices go on the secondary market for astronomical amounts compared to what you are charging people for.
Yeah, well, I'm happy for the people that were 20, 30, 40-year season ticket holders that finally got to see some playoff action here in Detroit and see them win.
Yep.
I'm happy for those people that have had these, the aspirations of seeing a good team, and now we finally get to see a good team.
Well, the reason we're talking about this is the announcement that they did indeed sell out their season ticket packages. 248-539-9797. We're asking the average fan, how did you handle this? The season ticket holder, the wannabe season ticket holder, the person that's been on the wait list, and the person that said, I can't afford it, and let your season tickets go just when things have apparently gotten good. It's Carson Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket. Hey, Dinger's Blast, moonshots, whatever you call them. Everyone loves home runs. And with FanDuel's Dinger Tuesday, you can love them even more. That's right. Dinger Tuesdays are back for another season on America's #1 sportsbook. Just bet on any player to homer, and FanDuel will give you $5 in bonus bets for every home run hit during that game. as if you need another reason to love the long ball. Visit FanDuel.com/Doug to get in on Dinger Tuesday action. That's FanDuel.com/Doug and check it out. FanDuel is the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Must be 21 or older and present in Michigan. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Maximum bonus, $25 per game. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problems? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Doug Kirsch, Scott Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket. Happy Monday. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there yesterday. Hope you had a great day. We appreciate your work. Collectively, moms, you do a great job. A lot of great work.
We thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you. We're talking about the announcement this morning. The Lions have sold out season tickets. There was some pushback from fans when the season ticket prices went up. It was honestly to be expected. I think we'd all feel better if we knew that it was as regular as they went up, they would also come down when the team isn't expected to be good. You know what I mean? When a team had a season like the Pistons just had, ticket prices reduced 60% from a year ago, right? I mean, is that, you almost never hear that.
No.
I do remember that the Pistons did it once back in the Tom Wilson era, and I remember getting tickets to a game and going there, and it was a very young crowd. Like it was it felt like a lot of people in the Palace, younger people, were like, let's go to a Piston game, and it was interesting because they'd slashed them dramatically. I was driving away to the Big Ten meetings one year, and I heard, in a news story that the Pistons were dramatically slicing ticket prices, and I'm like, huh.
Do you think it'd be you would get more people excited about lower ticket prices or like seriously slash concession prices? Like if you knew that you're paying the same price for a ticket to, let's say, to a Pistons game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Paying $30 for a ticket, but you know that hot dogs are $2. Nachos are $3. You can get, a 16-ounce pop for $2. You can get a 16-ounce beer for $5.
I would personally take the ticket price slash, but I'm trying not to speak for everybody. I would rather have my ticket price slashed because I don't buy a lot of. I get beer.
Because what do people say about when they go to the Masters? When people go to the Masters, what's everybody talking about?
They always talk about how the prices haven't changed in 50 years.
The concessions cost nothing, right?
Yep.
Hey, I got this sandwich for $1.
Yep.
All right, a beer was $3 or whatever it is. It's people talk about.
What do they got? Foreign and domestic. They only have two kinds of beer. They
Exactly.
don't really say what it is. I don't know. I would say ticket prices. But Kang, what do you think?
Country and Western, yeah.
Probably ticket prices. I mean, it's a nice dream you have, Gator. The NFL, kind of. Anyone in the NFL not trying to make money, I feel like is a dream.
That's why I didn't say the NFL. I went with basketball because you're talking about 20,000 people at a game instead of 60,000 rabid fans at a football game. It's different because you've got 8 home games to deal with. But
I understand that's a good thought. I think most people pick ticket prices though because you don't have to eat or have to drink. You have to get into the stadium if you want to watch it live. So that's the one you have to pay for.
But it seems like the ticket slash discount that you get, if they ever were to do a ticket, it would never be anywhere near the amount of slashing that you could do on the price of concessions.
No, because you could almost sell unlimited concessions.
Right.
You can't sell unlimited seats.
Right. I know. I'm wondering if you ended up, and let's say maybe even did discount, but you only discounted by like $1 or $2 for the seats. At least you can say we cut seats, but we really cut back on concessions. I think you might see people going. And this is specifically for basketball or if you're struggling to get people, like to say Comerica Park, for instance.
248-539-9797. Well, the one thing that season ticket holders get mad is when a team's bad and they suddenly slash ticket prices. Like, wait a sec. I paid $50 a game, and now you're selling people in my section the same ticket for $25? What did I pay for this for? So you can reduce concession prices, and everybody can take advantage of that. So there is an upside to it. 248-539-9797. Let's get back to your phone calls. We've got Tom next here on 97.1 The Ticket. Hello, Tom.
Hey, good afternoon, or good morning, guys. How we doing?
Doing
All
good,
right.
thank you.
All right, so here's the deal. I have season tickets, and Gator, I was the situation that you talked about. I could get the playoff tickets 10 times for what I paid. But that is the reason why I got the season tickets to go to the playoff games, right? So what I did is when the renewal came, you have, as a season ticket holder, you can buy up to 2 additional season tickets. So that's what we did is we bought 2 more tickets. And then those, I got a friend to commit to like half of the games just at, regular price. And then those I'm using for paying price. Now they can't track, what they can track is if you're selling it through a secondary market portal, like StubHub or something like that. But if you just put tickets for sale on Facebook or a friend of a friend buys them and you make more money, they'll track that because you're forwarding tickets all the time. My tickets, I don't go to every game, but also the other tickets I forward to people. So that's what so you can sell them in other venues. But I just ended up I gambled a little bit. I gambled and bought 2 additional tickets knowing if they go to the playoffs again, I can make the money there.
Well, I mean, good for you. And exactly. It can be a great investment. It can absolutely be a great investment.
And the person you end up selling the ticket to is a fan. That person wants to get to the game too. So I mean, it works out. Now they're paying more of a price than they would if they had the season ticket, but they can only sell so many season tickets.
Right, exactly. So that gave me access to. So I have a couple friends, like I said, who committed to some games, so they're able to go at the regular price. I got them for that. But I'm saving for that Monday night game, playoff games, Sunday night, those prime games. Those are the ones that I would put on the secondary market to make the biggest money.
Tom, thank you for the phone call. 248-539-9797. John is next here on 97. I'll go realtor. Calling from selling houses. What do you think?
Crack dealer.
Okay. You think that's their hold?
Sure.
So that's the crack dealer hold. All right. Let's put him back on hold. Dave is next here on 97.1 The Ticket. Hi, Dave.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? I'm so glad I get to call you guys again. I was working for a company that I couldn't call.
Oh.
But now I can.
All right, great.
Thanks for hanging out there.
Welcome back.
Anyway, thanks. So anyway, people should charge what people will pay regardless. It's just the way the market works. But there should be some extra value. Like, how about you get season tickets? You don't have to pay for Peacock that season. Something extra. You pay for season tickets, we'll give you the away games are on Peacock or something.
Interesting. Yeah. I can't argue with that.
It doesn't have to be that particular brand or whatever, but something that you get with that's relatively inexpensive for them just to get value. Because let's face it, people were getting this much money on the secondary market for Lions tickets. So if they're paying that much on the secondary market, the Lions should be saying, well, let's just get it ourselves. And I can't begrudge them that.
Yeah, I don't hate that idea.
They do food vouchers, right?
They do. Yeah, you're saying they do. Yeah, I think they do food vouchers.
I think that's probably the way that they would go, or vouchers for, hey, here's $50 for the Lions merch in the stadium.
Yeah, could be.
I think that's how they would do it.
Yeah. No, I don't. But I don't hate some sort of special add-in for fans that are committed to it. I'm sure that there's people in the Lions offices now saying, well, we give them A, B, and C.
Yeah.
But I think there's, you get to spend at the store or whatever, but maybe you give a fan a choice.
A little bit of added value for if you're gonna go up 80% on a ticket price. Well, how about giving me an extra $30 on the side?
Yeah, I have to believe there are benefits to being a season ticket holder. There has to be.
Yeah, I'm almost positive.
Yeah, I'm sure the Lions will. With your season tickets, you get, hey, like we said, $100 at the Lions store, or here's, $50 in food vouchers, or $250 in food vouchers, whatever it is.
Ton of feedback coming in from an unnamed texter. So it's okay for the Lions to gouge, but ticket holders cannot. So is it gouging, or is it giving with the market, selling at market price?
I mean, they just sold them out.
Yeah. And if the market dictates that the tickets are more expensive, I do not like the idea that there's this vague notion that you cannot resell too many tickets. I hope it's specific.
Well, if it's what the guys, the other caller may have clarified it. If you're trying to sell them on a secondary market and you're putting yourself out there and everybody knows that you're, now they can see how it's being done.
As opposed to just transferring
to somebody else and, hey, Venmo me.
Yeah.
Did I use that term correctly? Is that what people do?
Yeah.
The Venmo?
Well,
the transaction of money where it goes between
somebody. Yeah.
Yeah. Zelle? Is that it? Okay. How about cash? Is cash work?
Cash does too. Yeah. Not as much. Not as popular these days.
No, it really isn't.
The Detroit Lions ticket office monitors season ticket holders and what they do with their tickets. If you sell too many games or transfer the majority of tickets, they will threaten to take away your seats for the following year. It has happened to me. I will only sell a couple of games this year to help offset the cost. Signed, 24-year season ticket holder. Another one here. A friend of mine has had Lions season tickets for about 5 years. They just bought 2 more seats in front of them to resell and pay for their 2 original seats. Let's see how that works out. The Lions are onto this. They will deny your season tickets next year if you sell more than 5 games. It's from an unnamed texter. Danny in a barn says, Champ of the Week, Brad Keselowski, Michigan native, won his first NASCAR race in 3 years and his first as driver-owner. Chump, Xfinity, and Bally's. Ben in Roseville says, Champ, the United States Postal Service for handling another national food drive this past Saturday. All donations stay local just in time for the end of the school year. Many households will be able to provide meals for seniors and kids out of school. Chump of the Week, the stupid NBA lottery. Enough said.
Enough said.
Getting a lot of votes, that stupid NBA lottery. And thank you for pointing out what the USPS does. That's awesome. 248-539-9797. We'll get to more of your phone calls and feedback on this coming up a little bit later on. We've got a Watermelon Sharks update.
Oh.
Kang told me some funny fact about the Watermelon Sharks. We'll get to today at 11:48. Here on 97.1 The Ticket. Doug Carr, Scott Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket. Open the show and talk about the NBA draft lottery and how much it sucks once again. Stop me if you've heard this before. A Detroit team in a lottery fell as far as they could fall? You don't say. Of course they did. Of course they did. Back-to-back years, the Pistons the worst team in the NBA, and back-to-back years, the Pistons have the worst possible scenario play itself out. Awesome. In the meantime, also talking about news that the Lions, on another front, have sold out their season tickets once again, and look, it's a catch-22. They got good. Ticket prices went up, but the demand is still there. I feel bad for the people that have suffered for a long time trying to get their money's worth out of their experience, and it has been it's been a bit of a drought, a historic amount of time between home playoff games and playoff wins and no Super Bowl appearances, and yet the demand has kind of always been there, and a lot of people put in a lot of time and disposable income and not been rewarded. Now, a part of this, too, is it's just simply a risk you take when you invest in anything and hope that it's going to be worth your while. And it hasn't really been rewarding, to say the least, for the Detroit Lions fan. And now that it's rewarding, the question is, can you not afford it? Well, enough people can afford it. They sold out anyway. And that news was announced today. And we're asking season ticket holders and people who are waitlisted or people who just got off the wait list or people who canceled how you've been dealing with all of this. 248-539-9797. It's Carson Anderson. Back to your phone calls. We go to Joanne in Detroit. You're on 97.1 and Ticket. Hello, Joanne.
Hey, how's my two favorite gentlemen doing?
All right, Joanne. People love it. How are you?
Fine. Okay, I'm a season ticket holder, and I bought my season tickets in when they were 0-16, and the ticket was $500. It's $1,500, the same ticket. But anyway, the Lions, they send you an email, and it's the rules and regulations. Even though I'm a season ticket holder, this is not my ticket. I'm renting it because it's the property of the Detroit Lions.
And that comes in an email that's sent to you.
Yes. They tell you all the rules and regulations, and it states in that email that if you do anything unethical, they will take the tickets from you because it's the property of the Detroit Lions. Now, one thing I will say is 2 years ago, for people when they couldn't afford the tickets, they have a payment plan because I was on the payment plan, and it's a 12-month payment plan that you could pay for your tickets. That's the good thing about it. The other good thing is they have perks, Lions perks. And when the pandemic came, and if you didn't take your money off the books and left it, which I did, and they gave me $400 in Lions loot that I could get merchandise or food or whatever. So, but the Lions, like I said, they don't want you to profit off of their merchandise, which is their tickets. Because a friend of mine, he bought up a bunch of tickets when they couldn't even give these tickets away. And he started selling them because for Thanksgiving, he sold 3 tickets and it paid for his season tickets the next year. So the Lions got wind of that, and they do track them. They do track it if you sell it on Ticketmaster or StubHub, and they will take it if you sell. Well, he sold his whole season, and they took his tickets from him. Mm-hmm. So that's how that works.
So moral of the story is if you're going to sell them, don't sell them on a secondary market.
That's true. And see, what they were doing is they thought they had true fans that wanted to see the games. And if you're selling your whole season, you're not a true fan.
No, but the person who buys the ticket is.
No.
Well,
what
do you mean
selling
no?
it for profit.
I think Gator. Hold on. I think Gator means the person that buys the ticket from the season ticket holder is likely a true fan.
Oh yeah, they are. But I'm saying, like my friend that bought up a bunch of tickets and sold them on Ticketmaster, he wasn't a true fan. He was making.
No, he was just doing a business decision. But those tickets got into the. My point is, the tickets ended up getting in the hands of somebody who is a fan. The 60,000 people that show up at the Ford Field every Sunday, those are fans. How they got there is however they got there.
Yes. But the point I was trying to make is the people that just buy the tickets and sell the whole season tickets, the Lions want to allow you to do that.
Yeah, if they can track you, they'll
track you.
Because
you're making a profit. And it's their property. It's like I'm renting a room from them. And it's not really my room.
Joanne, it sounds actually what I tell my kids about their phones. You are using my phone. You are borrowing this from me. Treat it with respect. That's not your phone. That's my phone. That you you are using my phone.
That's right.
Or our phone, I should say. But
yeah,
Joanne, thank you. Interesting.
How often do you take the phone away from the kids?
I haven't had to very often, but I'm not afraid to do it when there's reason to. That's a big threat, by the way.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, it's, I think when we were growing up, it was the car keys. Now it's a phone.
You have to follow through with the threat sometimes to make sure they know, right?
Oh, I know.
That is a huge threat.
It's actually tough. I've learned that lesson early. Don't threaten things that you aren't willing to follow through on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank God I was a good kid.
Yeah. I'm sure you were.
For the most part, I was.
248-539-9797. John is next here on 97 The Ticket. Hi, John.
Hey, guys. Okay, if we try and tell this story real quick. Last year, I paid the seat license, $100 a seat, online. Got my tickets online. Never talked to a rep. I've had season tickets for all 4 teams through my life, probably over the last 20 years. Mostly Lions for those years. The year before that, I had Pistons tickets. Stopped going, and this is what the Pistons told me. Just don't sell all of them. Okay, I won't. I sold the Golden State. I sold the Lakers. I went to a lot of the games.
Mm-hmm.
With the Lions, when I got my tickets, I put them online, like I have been for years. All of a sudden, over a weekend, they took all my tickets back. Didn't get a call, didn't get an email, didn't get anything. I finally got a hold of them Monday. I'm like, what happened to my tickets? We took them away. You tried to sell them. Okay, I didn't know I couldn't do that. Because before that, never talked to a rep, never got anything online stating what their rules were. I said, okay, I won't sell them. Well, no, we're taking them away now. You got to wait a year. Hold on. You got this thing set up called the NFL Ticket Exchange. NBA, NHL, MLB all have the ticket exchange. On that website, they give you a template on what to sell your tickets for. They actually give you a scale, what the tickets are going for, what the price, what everybody else is selling them for. You can actually look at that. So that's what I was using. I didn't go exorbitant.
So what, John? What happened when it was all said and done? What happened?
Well, they took my tickets.
And you
with
never
no
got them back.
request forever.
And you never got them back.
I never even got a call. Never got a call for another rep.
What year was this?
Rule saying I could.
Yep, you've established that. What year was this?
Last year.
Last year. God, I would think in this day and age that they would communicate better. Like that sounds like a bit poor communication.
They took them over a weekend.
Yeah, they should make that abundantly clear and not have it be vague in any way. Is my thought on this. I mean, look,
it may, and that's not a bad policy to have, but from the Lions standpoint, if it's written in that agreement and you violate that agreement, it just allows them to say we're taking them away and giving them to somebody else because clearly they have a whole mess load of people waiting to get the tickets that will comply.
Does sound like he might not have read something.
Yeah, I think when you take ownership or rental of, like Joanne was saying, of these tickets, you're agreeing into a bunch of stuff that you may not have read or someone may have read to you, but you're agreeing to stuff that gives the Lions and the NFL the ultimate power.
All right, well, thank you for all your feedback on this. In fact, there's a bunch that we haven't got to that I would like to get to, so we will momentarily. 248-539-9797. We got a watermelon shark update.
Nice.
We also have a shoot the boot guarantee update that we will get to today at 12:05. Maybe I'll double down. Maybe I won't. That's at 12:05, 97.1 The Ticket.
So I had a great experience recently. I talked to a local company, Precision Garage Door, because I needed the new garage doors. Well, they came out and they took the call. They scheduled an appointment right away. They helped me select the perfect doors for my house, and they got it installed in no time. John, Jeff, the whole crew were so easy to work with. They're true professionals, and frankly, at a time when finding great customer service is really tough, it was really nice to see that Precision Garage Door took the time to make me feel comfortable. So if you want your garage doors done right, do what I did. Call Precision Garage Door today at 1-800-DOOR-REPAIR or visit precisiondoormi.com to schedule an appointment.
Doug Carr, Scott Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket. Open lines, 248-539-9797. As promised, tons of feedback coming in regarding the Lions season tickets selling out. From a baseball fan in Belleville writes in, that's a load of crap. If the Lions got their money, why do they care as long as someone is in the seat? They get the money on concessions, parking, jerseys. It's stupid. Named Texas, the University of Michigan football season ticket contract has a similar penalty for reselling, even though they make it easy to do so. Eric at work says, my season tickets were revoked last year. I got a new job and had to work on Sundays. I sold 4 tickets and was told that was too many. And they didn't want me back as a season ticket holder. These things should be communicated up front. Now, maybe they are, and maybe it's in the fine print. Maybe it seems awfully punitive, especially if it's a first-time violator. And you're saying you sold 4 tickets. I think you mean, does that mean for 4 games? I don't think
Could
so.
be. It could be 4 tickets or 4 games. I don't know.
So selling just 4 tickets once doesn't seem like it would be grounds for revoking your tickets. Friend of mine from the state of Connecticut has been a Lions fan for 55 years. He bought season tickets last year in anticipation to start making the trip to Detroit when he retired a couple times a year. But since he hadn't retired yet, he put them up for sale on the NFL-approved site. The Lions saw this and took his tickets away. Some of this seems bogue. Some of it indeed seems bogue. I mean, it's just working supply and demand economics, right?
Yes. But if you're the Lions, I get it. It's your product, and now you're allowing people to buy your product. What you don't want is for them to turn around and make a profit off of your product.
Yeah,
it's their rules. They can set it up how they want to. You can disagree with it. Well, then don't buy the tickets. You don't have to agree to it. You don't get them.
That's true. So, the Tigers back in action tonight after a weekend. Saw them drop 2 of 3 to Houston and finally drop back to 500, which felt like a little bit inevitable, I guess, to a degree. But here they sit. They've been there a couple times. But anyway, the point is 20-20 at the 40-game mark. Marlins come to town. They try and get back on the winning track. Tigers opening a 3-game set with Matt Manning. Gator, we thought we'd see it. In fact, we kind of knew we'd see it. It was just a matter of when will we see it. And Matt Manning is in the rotation instead of Kenta Maeda, who's on a 15-day injured list with some sort of illness. Gio Urshela is back now, AAA. But this is a Miami team that's 20 games under this early in the season. So see if they can put something together here. In the meantime, we have a Watermelon Sharks update. I don't know that we have updated this, but Kang, we were discussing how it's funny what people remember, and you said that this has replaced the griddle as the first question people ask you out in public.
Yep. Absolutely, which is fine. I get it. I used to be known as the flat top griddle guy because I feel like I was one of the very first people to say, "Hey, why isn't this more popular? Why don't more people use this?" I remember I brought up to you one day, Doug, before the show. I was like, I think my grill had broken down. I'm thinking about replacing it with a griddle. He said, "Why?" And now we move forward, and everyone's like, "Yeah, this thing's great."
I said why, and then when I got one, I was like, "This is why."
So now, and the latest thing is, My little girl is she's in that 5, 6, 7-year-old soccer age bracket, and it's co-ed and boys and girls and everything. And she's been playing soccer, and her first soccer team name was the Watermelon Sharks. Mm-hmm. And we ran into this possible issue. We got an email sent from the league saying, hey, they need a volunteer coach because not all the teams have coaches, and I didn't want to do it, and debated back and forth and didn't have to do it that year. But then the email came up again this year. And it came down to the wire again. And for those that don't know, I don't think we updated. You're right, Doug, people. I did not take the job with the Watermelon Sharks because to this day, I still get questions. Hey, did you take the gig? Like, did you get to take the coaching job of my little girl's soccer team? I did not. As someone stepped up, and I'm very thankful for that person.
You won the game of chicken.
Yes.
Nice job, King.
And that's what we called it because it was probably a bunch of parents like, I don't want to do this. How long can I wait? Who will be the first parent to cave because you don't want the season to get canceled because there's not enough coaches or, combined teams because they don't. And you were.
I was about to do it. I said
you
that.
You were strongly considering.
I said, I'll wait this out. And if it comes down to it, I'll step up and do it.
Yep.
Didn't have to. We got an email, said, hey, here's the schedule, which pretty much meant that they had found a coach.
Yep.
If someone volunteered, enough volunteers have stepped up.
Okay. So you were let off the hook.
Yeah.
Now,
how many games did they play at this point?
3.
How's the team looking?
They're okay. They got a couple of good players on the team that help carry the weight of the the whole squad.
How's the coaching?
Coaching's okay. It's just what to be expected at this age. You're making sure the kids know the rules and have fun. The
it's a big thing knowing the rules.
Yes, they've stepped up this year because before it was, what do you call it when they just follow the ball around?
Bumblebee. It's bumblebee soccer. Yeah.
We're beyond that now. We're at hey, this is your position. You're a midfielder. You're a defender. You're a forward.
You still can't use your hands.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty. I mean, we're good at that.
I like it.
But yeah.
All right. So, did the team? I'm every year these teams in these rec leagues, you make up your own name. I am assuming it is no longer the Watermelon Sharks.
Unfortunately, it is not.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know how they came up with it. Usually, we don't have the Hard Knocks crew yet on these kids. They're not mic'd up. There's no one following them around. So I don't know what happened in the huddle or the meeting on how they decided the team name, but they came up with something different. It's okay. It's like the thumb.
Do we care to share what the team name is, or?
I mean,
you don't have to. I don't want to.
It's okay. It's not Watermelon Sharks.
We'll just leave it at that.
We'll just leave it at that.
It's not sweet like watermelon sharks.
And is your daughter still having fun?
Yes.
Okay.
She is. That's good. And I think I would have done you proud this past weekend, Doug.
Oh, is that right?
Because the weather was very poor on a Saturday afternoon. Windy.
Get the personal bubble?
I would kill for a bubble or whatever you call those things. What would you call them?
The pod.
Pod.
The weather pod, the bad weather pod that you can get that is a clear plastic small tent that goes around like one of those chairs that the folding chairs that you take, and you can put this pod around you that keeps the wind and the rain off of you.
It's like a Bubble Boy situation.
It is. Some of them are wearable even. I mean, these pods, I've seen them.
Take a bunch of space.
And I would be sitting at games with terrible weather and be really jealous of Fran.
Well, I stood out there, Doug. Fran. I stood out there with the rest of them, and I braved the weather. Did not watch in my car.
Yeah,
did not sit in the car.
Is whether or not people are going to sit in the car.
But I will tell you, I might have accidentally yelled at one point, "Call the game," because it was a long one, man.
And this was Saturday.
Yeah, it was rough here in Michigan.
Gotcha.
I know you weren't in the area, but
I was not. I was out of state. But you
it's cold,
windy, wet,
bad.
Yeah, I've sat through my share of that kind of weather for baseball games this spring. And maybe it's every spring, but I feel like this one's been particularly bad.
At least in soccer, you're running around.
Well, the kids are running
around.
The
kids
are. I know. I'm just thinking from
parents.
The kids.
I found myself pacing a lot. Do you do that, Doug? Just kind of keep the blood flowing? And you can't just sit
I'm a
stand.
pacer. I'm a pacer when I'm watching. But it's usually nervous energy. But not at that age. At that age, it was like, hey, have fun.
Were the moms okay? Could they hold their Stanley Cup? Were they okay with that?
Oh, yeah, not the hockey Stanley Cup, the actual those Stanley.
Right,
yeah. Yes, they were. They're out there.
So you're at an age right now where your daughter still enjoys your company.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to take advantage of that.
At some point, do you think you ever see yourself coaching? Is there any part of this experience that made you think, maybe someday?
You know what? After 3 weeks into this, I'm more open to it.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
I'm more open to it, Gator.
Spend quality time with the daughter.
That's one for sure. And, next year might be the year, guys. Next year might be the year where I put my name in the hat. I don't wait for an email. I step up right away.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
Really?
We'll see.
What happened?
He's just,
I'm growing, man.
Yeah, he's having daddy-daughter time. He told me actually today that he's enjoying that his daughter still likes him being around because he knows that will change.
Well, I see what happened with Doug and his daughter. I don't want that.
Well,
I'm just kidding. It's not that bad, Doug.
No, it's not. She's coming around a little bit.
You saw what happened when your wife took off and was out of town for a while, and you had the kids, and then I miss mommy.
Well, yeah, that's the younger one. There's no hope for our relationship. We're done. The younger one does not like me. I don't think she ever will. The older one, I've got a shot with still, so I'm trying to hold on to that.
Yeah.
The younger one, I will literally say to her face, "I love you," and she looks at me dead in the eye and goes, "I love mommy." And I'm like, dude. And my wife dies cracking up. She
that's a true story.
This is Doug, I will do it. Next time we're in a family, event or whatever, I will do it. You'll see it. It's like she's trolling me to my face. How does she know this? She's 3.
You. I love mommy.
She goes, "I love mommy."
I love you. I love mommy. I'm right here.
I don't foresee it ever happening. You're happily married, but the whole divorce thing where a kid has to decide. She'd be like, see you, Dad.
Yeah.
She'll be backing up the truck all over my body right there.
Honey, you get to pick where you're mommy.
No, I want you to think about it.
No, mom.
Yeah.
How about this? Not him.
Not this guy. This
Why are you yelling out stranger danger? I'm your dad.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that you guys got a coach and the team is carried on. I have a shoot the boot lock of the week. And by the way, one door closed on the possibility of me getting it right with an announcement today. We'll get to that today at 12:02 here on Carson Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket.
Brought to you by Wendy's. A narrowed list of the Pistons president of basketball operations search just got posted by The Athletic. Trajan Langdon, the GM for the New Orleans Pelicans, is on the list. So is Dennis Lindsey, an advisor for the Mavericks, and Mark Eversley, the GM for the Chicago Bulls. The Tigers begin a 3-game series with the Marlins tonight at Comerica Park, looking to avoid a 4-series sweep in a row. Matt Manning heads to the mound. First pitch at 6:40 right here on 97.1 The Ticket. One of the highest coveted college basketball transfers, Great Osobor, has found a new home and a big-time payday. The former Utah State center is on the move to Washington and is reportedly set to make $2 million in NIL cash. He logged 15 double-doubles last season, averaging nearly 18 points and 9 rebounds. The Pistons found out yesterday they'll pick 5th in the first round. Several national prognosticators say that Matas Buzelis will be their selection at number 5. He played for the G League's Ignite last season. The 20-year-old averaged 14 points and 7 rebounds. The NBA playoffs continue tonight. Boston has a 2-1 lead over Cleveland as Game 4 takes place at 7. OKC looks to even up the series with Dallas at 2 games apiece. That tip is at 9:30. At the Corewell Health Update Desk, I'm Jeremy Otto. For more, go to 97.1 The Ticket or Odyssey.com.
Hope you had a great weekend. Carson Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket. Starting a new week, new Tiger Series tonight. Taking on the Marlins at home, 3-game set, trying to get back on the winning track. 500 baseball team at the 40-game mark. We will get into the Tigers a little bit later on as the show goes on. Spent a lot of time talking about the Pistons at the beginning of the show and their lack of lottery luck. And no, I'm not going to downplay it. I think it sucks. I think it sucks bad. And no, I don't think you got what they deserved. This is not a team and an organization known for doing any kind of extreme tanking. And probably the most irritating thing is that, it's happened now 2 years in a row, which that they've had the worst team in basketball. They've had some injuries play a role in that, but they're let's face it, they're not that good. This is pretty clear, and yet they get no reward. Now we know it's not a great draft, but I almost guarantee that there will be a star comes out of this draft. And it's their job to figure out who it is. And 5, they could probably find a player there. Probably should find a player there. But let's face it, it's a lot easier to do it from the top, no matter how bad the draft is. And I even hesitate a little bit to call it a bad draft because, to me, Gator, we're treating it as if drafts are an exact science, but they're not. But
right, and it's people look at last year's draft, and you have this generational player, right? And Victor Wembanyama, and what a great draft it is. And I read something earlier today that said, well, the top 3 prospects in this draft might be more. It might be more along the lines of like 5 through 10 of previous drafts. It doesn't mean does that mean it's awful?
No, it doesn't mean it's awful. And really, look, we don't even know who's making the pick. And that's a big part of this too, is you have to be able to know who's making the pick. And you just heard the list of candidates that was discussed. But we'll see. It still sucks to have bad luck.
It does suck to have bad luck because you'd like to be able to have the highest pick. Obviously, they should have had the top pick, but they didn't get it. But had they had the top pick, there'd be no excuses about what player you got because you had your choice of everybody.
Yep.
You made your selection, and hopefully it's the right one. Now at number 5, some of that guesswork is taken away from you.
Yep.
Because the pool will be significantly less.
I worry that they haven't found a new president of basketball operations yet, and apparently they've been denied John Horst from Milwaukee, according to Mark Stein. That Troy Weaver has somehow turned into Matt Millen, and by that I mean not just like poor player acquisitions, but has he developed a friendly relationship with Tom Gores where he's talked himself into like, I'm not the biggest problem here. I deserve to stay here because what he's put on the court has been literally historically bad. 14 wins this year. What was it? 17 last year, whatever it was. He shouldn't have a job here. He shouldn't be part of the organization anymore. And I'm a guy who wanted Troy Weaver here and I thought he would do well.
Me too.
And I just
taking the L on this one.
Yeah.
It's this whole situation since Tom Gores took over the team has just been kind of weird with his whole front office hierarchy. It's been weird, like undefined roles, and if so many execs that are at the top, and like, what do you guys do when what's Arn Tellem doing here, and all, and now they've got themselves in a situation where they might hire a new director of player personnel or basketball operations or whatever they're going to call it, who might keep the former GM. I'm like you guys. I'm a little fuzzy on how this whole thing is working, but the bottom line is, if you find the right guy who has the right vision, you're going to be in great shape down the road. But finding that person is not easy. We know with the Fords and finding the right person with the Lions, it was incredibly hard to do, or at least they just failed at it every time they went for it. Finally, they got it right. How can the Pistons get it right? How do they find their inner Spielman to talk to help guide them to find the right culture fit?
All right, Gator, I said we'd get to this, so let me follow through on it. And what I'm talking about is my shoot the boot guarantee that the Detroit Lions would open the NFL season in 2024 in a nationally televised game. I had a couple shots at it, the Thursday game, the Sunday night game, and the Monday night game or games. I'd kind of forgotten about this, and it might come back to burn me, in that I assumed there'd be 2 Monday night games. There haven't been 2 Monday night games in week 1 for 3 seasons. The last 3 years, there's only been 1 Monday night game. There's only been 1 Monday night game in week 1 the last 3 seasons. In the 2023 season, 2022, and 2021. Week 2 has had 2 Monday night games. But week 1 has only had 1 Monday night game. So it's quite possible there won't be a second Monday night game, if not likely. That's been the trend lately. And now the announcement came today as the NFL continues to do a great job constantly dominating the timeline of sports, announcing their opener, the Thursday night opener for the second year in a row, will involve the Kansas City Chiefs. They'll be playing the Baltimore Ravens in a rematch of the AFC title game.
Great way to start the season.
Yes. The Friday night game in Brazil has also been announced, Philly and Green Bay. That was announced a while ago.
Another great game.
Yep. So that leaves me with likely just 2 options. The Sunday night game and what appears to be a single Monday night game.
Yeah.
There's 16 games a weekend. There were 4, and I thought 5 nationally televised games, and there might only be 4. 2 of the 4 spots are taken. So I am starting to trend towards getting this shoot the boot guarantee wrong, but I'm sticking with it. I am sticking with it, and I'm going to go ahead and call the shot. It's Wednesday. Wednesday's when the schedule releases.
Yeah.
Is it Wednesday? It's Wednesday.
Wednesday the 15th. Yeah.
I think Wednesday they are going to announce that the Detroit Lions will open the season on Sunday night against the Chicago Bears and number 1 pick Caleb Williams. I think they are going to put Caleb Williams on the marquee and give him a chance to give him the stage, the new bright shiny thing in the league.
Interesting.
And I think the Lions are also a bright shiny thing.
Interesting, because the Lions have other games that could definitely, they could have the rematch of the NFC Championship game.
Without question.
Have the Lions at San Francisco. If the NFL wanted to, so the first 2 games that have been leaked out, you've got 2 AFC teams going at it and 2 NFC teams going at it. You could mix and match. You could have the Lions taking on the Buffalo Bills at Ford Field. You could have the Lions traveling to Houston, take on the Texans if you're looking for playoff teams. Interesting.
There are better matchups for sure.
But you're bringing up
I'm bringing up the Caleb Williams factor.
Are you shooting the boot on this?
Well, I'm going to shoot the boot if I get it wrong anyway. So I'm not going to double shoot the boot. I'm not doing it twice. I'm just I'm adding to the prediction that it's going to be.
Okay, so you've got that there's still going to be.
The original shoot the boot is in place, but I'm just making a prediction. I know that when you make a shoot the boot, it feels like predictions don't even count, but I'm going to go ahead and predict it's going to be the Bears on Sunday night.
Okay, well, your prediction doesn't count, but it's interesting that I'm kidding. It's because I like the Lions have so many options because they had such a great season last year, and their schedule is positively brutal when you look at it with all the playoff teams they have to face.
It's a dangerous game to play because we usually feel like I've learned my lesson. Does it look brutal? Yes. Will it actually be brutal? I'm not going to say anything. I haven't learned my lesson. No?
Yeah, you haven't, Gator.
I'm looking at Buffalo. I'm looking at Houston. I'm looking at San Francisco. I'm looking at Dallas. Yeah. There are others there too that could be interesting. But I do like the idea of, okay, let's go Caleb Wilson. You're saying Lions on the road or Lions at home against Caleb?
I don't know. Don't know yet. They're just going to play Caleb.
I think that's bold prediction by you, Doug. The opponent I'm talking about, because I think they have so many teams that they play. Like I think all the teams they played in the playoffs last year are on their schedule this year. So I think they do a rematch of a playoff. I predicted Niners Monday night with the Lions because I'm just playing off the AFC Championship game. Why not do the NFC Championship game as well? But they had the Bucks, they have the Rams. You know, they could replay any of those games.
I'm gonna agree with Doug on this. I hear your point, but I feel like the NFL already has that excitement with the AFC Championship rematch. They've already got that. They don't need to double. They could double up and just make it amazing, right? With San Francisco, Detroit. But I feel like the NFL is going to be sprinkling those. They have so many options to sprinkle that throughout. They'll have an opportunity to make that the game of the week, as opposed to one of the games of the week because it's the opening weekend of the season.
One of the things you have to keep in mind is they really aren't interested in pissing off Fox and CBS by taking all the great matchups and parking them in their marquee times. Like, they want to leave a little bit of some crumbs for them too. So I don't think that they're going to take all the great matchups. They got to leave some for Sunday at 1 and Sunday at 4.
As I recall, a few years ago when Trevor Lawrence made his debut, it was not one of these nighttime nationally televised games.
Might not have been.
And I'm just trying to think of other quarterbacks, with lots of fanfare coming in. Did they get their first game on?
Speaking of scheduling, we got a start time for a Michigan or Michigan State game. We will tell you what that start time is.
We already have that. It's on our Twitter, isn't it?
No, not the Michigan State game. The opening week, somebody's got a night game on NBC. We'll get to that today at 12:16 here on Carson Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket. Hey, for years I've been telling you about having a Connecticut water softener installed by CDC Water. Love it. Water tastes great. There are other benefits as well. Call 855-339-4242 and visit cdcwater.com to save $1,000 or more when you bundle a Connecticut Premier Softener and the K5 Connecticut Drinking Water System. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Save 10% off a Navien tankless water heater when you let CDC Water Treatment and Plumbing take care of your plumbing needs. CDC Water, your authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Call 855-339-4242. At this hour from the Associated Press's Joe Reedy. The first two Big Ten Saturday night games on NBC are now known. On Saturday, August 31st, Fresno State and Michigan will play in a Saturday night affair.
Oh, Saturday night?
Yep.
That's at the Big House, right?
It indeed is.
Oh, that's awesome. Saturday night, starting college football. The first week. Is that week 0 or is that week 1?
It's week 1.
Oh, so there's a game week prior. No. You don't seem happy.
It's because I'm not, Gator.
Oh. No. Okay. I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
Really not.
No, you're not.
Maybe I'll go to that game.
Will you?
See Doug, cheer you up.
Yeah, come by. Come by and say hi.
Have some drinks after.
Week 2, Saturday night game is Colorado,
3 o'clock
Nebraska.
in the morning. Week 2 is what?
Colorado, Nebraska will be a night game. So those two
rivals.
Yeah, they used to play every year. It was actually a good rivalry.
It was. Back when Colorado was really good. Well, we got Dion. Coach Prime.
Yes, we do. Well, Coach Prime, didn't they beat the pants off of Colorado or Nebraska this year, didn't they? This past season.
You know, Nebraska's in transition here.
Yeah.
Is it Matt Rule's over there now?
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to change things up. He's got his big recruit. Is he going to start the season?
The Raiola kid?
Yeah.
Could be.
Dylan Raiola?
They don't do it for me. I think fans mostly like night games. So,
no, I don't. I'm not a big fan of the night game either. I feel bad for you if we're on the road.
Yeah, no, I don't.
But
look,
it's not.
It's a very minor complaint. But now Michigan football has tweeted out, we'll open the 2024 season under the lights. Weird thing is Fresno last year was competitive, and not that it's already the way it's set up right now. Michigan's schedule is brutal, and nobody talks about Fresno. But Fresno was competitive a year ago. I'll take a look what they have coming back. I guess that makes a big deal.
Yeah, get that bucket ready.
Yeah, bucket. Load up the bucket the entire offseason. That's what we call all the information you take into the game and then don't use.
Right. Useless or otherwise.
Mondays mean Champ and Chump. Get your Champ and Chump votes in. Gator and I gave our Champ and Chump of the weekend. Mine is Tarek Skubal, Champ of the weekend. 5-0 now after another win on Saturday against Houston. Gator, your Champ of the weekend is?
My champ was the Florida Panthers for going taking a 3-1 series lead over the Boston Bruins.
Yep. My Chump of the weekend, Xfinity and Bally's, and it might be them in perpetuity here.
I went with the NBA. And the draft lottery situation has the Pistons picking 5th, despite having the worst record in basketball, despite losing 28 games in a row. They're picking 5th.
Yep, again. Get your Champ and Chump votes in.
It's just stupid.
We tally them up and post on our website on Tuesday who do people select as Champ and Chump of the weekend. 248-539-9797. Let's go to Ned. You're next here on 97.1. Hi, Ned.
Howdy, fellas.
How are we doing, Ned?
Hopefully, I'm good. Hopefully, we have a good week this week, even after that terrible draft luck last night. I was kind of in shock watching that.
Sucks.
But, Doug, I would like to, before I give my Champ and Chump, I'd like to refute the opener. I think it's going to be, I'm hoping it's San Francisco. We're heading out to the Bay to see the Coliseum before they burn that place down. So I'll be out there in early September to see the Tigers and A's, and I'm hoping that they'll do the Niners and Lions rematch in San Francisco, so I can just kind of hang out there and catch that game too. That'd be cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, it should be fun trip. But my champ is Reese Olson. Man, this kid keeps throwing quality starts after quality start. And the poor kid can't get any run support. He should be in the front running for Rookie of the Year. The kid's got a 2.5 ERA, somewhere around 40 strikeouts, like a 1 whip. This kid's throwing, like, as a rookie, it's unbelievable what he's doing. I think he's flying way under the radar of where he should be. Like, if we could get him any runs, like, he would be a top contender for Rookie of the Year, I believe.
You're right.
And
is he rookie eligible?
No, he's not.
Rookie
he
eligible.
threw over 100 innings last year, so he's not rookie
Oh
eligible.
my God, I thought he was under the 100-inning mark last year. But anyway, what he's doing is special. I mean, I'm still counting him as a rookie, as his first full season this year. starting with the big club. So unbelievable what that kid's throwing, and gem after gem, quality starts, and he's not getting any run support. But anyway, my chump, Doug, I like your Bally's, but we got 97-1 the tickets, so I'm not really all that concerned about the Bally stuff.
Boy,
my
Ned.
chump is. Say it again.
I said that, a boy, Ned. Who's your chump?
Chump is obviously Adam Silver and his terrible lottery pro. I don't even know how do you go from 14% and get the 5th pick 2 years in a row? It's almost like people say like, oh, rigged. It's rigged. Like it's at this point.
It's not that, it's not even it's rigged. It's that you've got as good a chance of picking 5th as you do in the top 4. That's what's wrong with it.
Yeah.
When you're that bad, you should have 0 chance of picking outside the top 3.
And what King said earlier about I like King's idea about if you're that bad, if you're the bottom team in the league, you should at least be guaranteed in the top 3 or top 4. I'm with that, boy. Listen, boys, have a good week. All right.
Take care.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't feel like when they had them in mind what they were going to do as far as trying to keep teams from tanking. The last 2 authentically bad Piston teams, that's not what they had in mind. And they're being punished by a system that is guarding against authentic tanking or guarding against intentionally losing. This team was losing on their own.
It just seems too punitive. I don't think it's rigged. I just think the system is poorly assembled the way they have it. And on top of that, Doug, I do want to bring up something about the NBA and the lottery system. So the Hawks won it. The Atlanta Hawks won the whole thing, right? They actually were in the play-in game.
Yep.
There's a rumor that Trae Young's on the block. What if the Pistons get Trae Young out of this, Doug's least favorite player in the league?
How is that going to happen?
What do you mean? They trade for him.
Yeah, give up the
5th. I don't know. Give up Stu, Duran. I have no idea. Ivy.
Yeah. I don't see any reason why that would happen, Ken. None.
I mean, I'd make every effort to get him. He's a hell of a player. That's a superstar in
He's
the
the
league.
most annoying player in the NBA.
In games Doug's watched.
This is a guy that thinks
he plays for Atlanta too.
This
That's
thinks
where
like
Dominique
it's,
plays.
like it's fun to watch somebody shoot free throws. I'm enjoying the hell out of this guy, stopping the game every trip down the floor so he can shoot free throws
and make them. And help his team win.
He makes it the way he plays the game is if the goal isn't to put the basketball into the basket, the goal is to get fouled.
So that you can put the ball into the basket.
I mean, yeah, I guess. But to me, that's the equivalent of saying baseball would be better with more balks. I don't need to see more free throw shot, and I don't need to see more balks.
I disagree, homeboy.
You need to see more balks?
No, I'm saying Trae Young may be annoying because he gets to the free throw line and everything's a foul.
Mm-hmm.
But his fans should love him because he gets to the free throw line and he makes his free throws. And he helps his team win. If Atlanta wants to trade him, Doug, we have to look at this objectively, all right? Take away the fact that it's visually it's a tough watch. Understand what he is, which you do. He's a great player. The Pistons are only going to get better if they can find some way to get a superstar player. Here's a guy who's a budding superstar in the league. And if he's on the trading block, you got to do everything you can to try to get him because you need superstars. All right, I'm talking to King. King? Doug's like, absolutely
He
not.
wants no part of Trae Young.
I gave you my superstar plan last week. It's still in play this week.
I want something to happen so bad. I'm on board with this, Gator. I'm on board with drafting Bronny James if it brings LeBron here. I'm desperate.
That's the true desperation plan. Bronny James, it was announced today, is staying in the draft. With the 5th pick, the Detroit Pistons select the 98th rated player on most people's big board, Bronny James. His dad signs in Detroit, and along with him come Paul George and Klay Thompson.
Super team. Like from 2019, maybe.
How the hell is that going to happen?
Did I not just lay it out for you how it's going to happen? The Pistons have $64.4 million in projected cap space.
And they have to spend it all on LeBron.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
No, this is a
LeBron's gonna
hostage
go-
situation. We got his kid, dude.
Yes, it's a total hostage situation.
We have your kid.
Yep.
We have your son.
And you don't even
He's like,
really.
"No!"
I'm not even sure we want an aging LeBron. We want the players that will want to come play with LeBron.
So as bad as Troy Weaver is a GM, a bad GM LeBron is better. Like people say LeBron's a bad GM, still better than what we
Now,
got.
to be clear, this is the emergency desperation plan when you figure out that nobody wants your free agent money. I mean, we're not even sure anybody wants to run this team.
So anyway, I'm all about Trae Young. I'd go ahead and go that route over the LeBron route.
You could probably get Bronny with their second round pick at 58 or whatever they're at.
It'd be undrafted free agent signing. Bronny.
I know, right?
Poor kid.
248-539-9797. It's Carson Anderson. Hey, get those Champ and Chub votes in. We haven't even talked about Lions rookie camp. There was some observations made by the beat writers that were there, and 2 trial players got signed out of it. We will get to that today at 12:35 here on Carson Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket. Doug Carr, Scott Anderson, 97.1 a ticket. Open lines, 248-539-9797. Let's get back to your open line. Call Cedric in Clinton Township here next. Hi, Cedric.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Great. How are you?
That's good. That's good. So my whole point was, why not, because we got screwed in the draft lottery, why not couple that with Jaden? I love Jaden Ivey, but couple it with him. Go with Devin Booker.
Well, if you can, however they can find a way to get a superstar, I'm for it. I love Jaden Ivey too, but if you got to package Ivey in the 5th pick overall and something else to get a superstar, whatever it takes, man. Right. Whatever it takes.
Yeah. Past draft, both Devin Booker and Donovan Mitchell said they wanted to come. That was the SVG era, but we dropped the ball on that for sure. But now, okay, we got a chance to correct that mistake. Let's do it.
Yeah, I guess I'm holding off on what to do until I see who's running the organization and what they decide to do with.
Exactly.
So a little bit of kind of wait and see, but I hear what you're saying. I mean, you got to do what you got to do to try and they're going to have to force the issue.
Yes, they're going to have to be very proactive about this to move forward. And it feels like, to me, it feels like you can't move forward with the nucleus that they have. Like somebody's got to go.
Yeah.
To free up a space for somebody else that is more deserving to be or has a higher ceiling or whatever it is. Whether that's Jaden Ivey or Jalen Duren. And you have to make the decision, are we going to build around Cade Cunningham or not? I mean, do you want to trade Cade? If you're going to trade Cade, then it opens up the door for even bigger possibilities. But I'd rather build around him. But they definitely have players that they can move. Players have value. They may not have superstar value, but you can't tell me Jaden Ivey doesn't have value on the trade market or that 5th pick overall doesn't have value. It's got some value. It's not like years past, but it definitely does have value.
Champ and Chum, get your votes in, 248-539-9797. Okay, so Lions rookie minicamp over the weekend. Always cool to see the new toys show up for the first time and get a look at what you have. And for the Lions organization, there was a lot to look at. I want to start with this, though. Dan Campbell, not there. I don't love this, but it's personal reasons. So let's first and foremost hope that everything's cool and everything's all right and that there's nothing particularly.
I think he earns the pass.
Yes, there's nothing particularly. Let's hope there's nothing particularly major going on. With that said, this guy has established a culture that I kind of like. That from day one, the rookies find out what it's all about, and that he's a tone setter for sure. And nobody has sold the Detroit Lions as a credible NFL organization and done as much to change what they are as Dan Campbell. And not having him setting the tone from day one kind of sucks. I get it. There might have been some stuff it's not avoidable, but really, really, really would have preferred to have him there. But again, there might not be anything that can be done about it. So I'm not mad at anybody, but from a football perspective, he's got it's non-negotiable, guys. This is how it's going to be. I set the tone. I've created this culture. You fall in line, or it's not going to work here. But part of the reason why we selected you is because you're the type of person that responds well to what Dan Campbell's doing. This is not something they can't overcome, but I don't like him not being there, establishing the tone from day one. But again, it's personal. There's nothing he can do about it. He'll establish the tone the moment he shows up. But that's one of the great things about having this guy is since he has taken over and since Brad Holmes has taken over, limited nonsense. It's squeezing the most out of what they have from a football perspective.
Yeah, I mean, this is no indictment. Obviously, he's got the personal reason why he wasn't there. But he's also met with these guys, most of them, with draft picks for sure. I don't know about the undrafted free agents. I imagine he's probably met with them as well. So it's not that big of a deal to not be there for the 2 or 3 days that they had this mini camp.
Certainly not.
No. But there was a lot that came out of this mini camp that I think has and it's not turning heads. It's just kind of, my ears are kind of pricked up a little bit. Like, what was that? What'd you say? Oh, interesting. The Terry and Arnold quote about his mother is unbelievable. It was hysterical. And yet you get that's the mindset of what it was instilled in him to be ultra competitive. And when he talked about my mom was lying across from me, I'd put her in the dirt. That's what she taught him when he used to wrestle around a little bit. He said that she knocked his tooth out one time. But that was funny. I like what I heard about Gio Manu. They say that this guy is very, very humble. Somebody grew up in the Isle of Tonga to get an opportunity to play. He's not taking this for granted at all. He's obviously very large, very athletic. The reports I read said he did not look out of place, that he was getting better, getting more accustomed to it, and that the gap didn't seem like it was going to be that far of a gap for him to make up because he played, in Canadian college football and getting to the NFL. Everybody thought this is going to be a huge step. And then I think it was Ray Agnew with the Lions front office said, not necessarily for this young man.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't want to get carried away. I do want to hear that Terrion Arnold looks the part. And it sounds like Terrion Arnold looked the part. I do remember that Jeffrey Okudah looked the part at rookie minicamp as well. And
How dare you?
I'd like to go back and see what was being said about Tease Tabor when they first went to rookie minicamp. Come on. Well, this is like NBA Summer League. Your first-round pick should look the part because everybody else was a later draft pick or an undrafted free agent.
It's blue skies out right now.
Yeah.
What did you just do?
I just made sure we were operating within the guardrails of reality.
I mean, I was feeling pretty good about until 30 seconds ago.
Okay, you don't have to feel any different just because I said let's not get carried away.
But you mentioned two names that are like daggers in the hearts of all Lions fans. You mentioned Jeffrey Okudah, maybe the biggest bust that the Lions have ever had.
You're giving my opinion way too much power. I look forward to when the veterans get there. I think it's good to look the part.
Look, I'm sorry Michigan's opening the season on a Saturday night.
Yeah, that's
all right. I'm really sorry.
Kind of changed my day. Not gonna lie.
Pour out the Cheerios, get a new bowl, and use milk this time. Okay, it's okay. It's gonna be fine.
But. I mean, Enos Rakestraw was on a bit of a pitch count coming off an injury. They didn't have him in there full time. Started him at the over the slot receiver, moved him outside. Terrion Arnold took most of his reps outside. I think it was Tim Twentyman that wrote that Sione Vaki looked. They see why he's a special teams demon, and he's going to have good hands out of the backfield. You mentioned Manu, so there was also some veterans there trying out, and we mentioned it before the break. And two guys have been signed. One is former Cardinals wide receiver Caden Davis. Came to the rookie camp on a tryout basis. Had 8 catches and a touchdown last preseason on Arizona's practice squad last year. Was active for only 1 game. The other was Parker Hess, who is 28, an NFL veteran who spent the last 5 seasons with the Titans and the Falcons. So a couple guys impressed enough to get contracts with the Lions, but of course, a lot of work to do between now and making the final official roster. But news nonetheless of Lions in minicamp. Now it's 2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks to OTAs, and that's when all the kids mix in with the adults, and we'll see how they look then, right?
That's right.
Yep. 248-539-9797. It's Carson Anderson. We'll get to more open line calls. All right. I do want to hear from enthusiasts about this news out of Cedar Point. Interesting. And how does it impact you? We'll get to that today at 12:48 here on 97.1 The Ticket.
So it's so hard to find reliable service. We know this. Well, I went through an experience over the last year that I really want to tell people about because I had issues with my garage door, right? I was thinking about what I got to do to replace them. So I called Precision Garage Door. They came out right away. Scheduled an appointment. Technician Jeff came out and he's like, "Hey, I can walk you through this. We can see what we can do to solve the problem right now." And it's exactly what happened. He said, "Look, we can do something right now, but eventually you're probably going to have to replace the doors. But in the meantime, let's do this, this, and this." And I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. I loved it. The service was stellar, and Daryl and the whole team that came out, they were easy to work with as well. I'm so glad that I called Precision. So if you want your garage doors done right, Do what I did. Call Precision Garage Door today at 1-800-DOOR-REPAIR or visit precisiondoormi.com to schedule an appointment.
Doug Hart, Scott Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket. Open lines, 248-539-9797. Okay, so I'm not a coaster guy. You're not necessarily a coaster guy, although I'll end up on roller coasters. I don't avoid them necessarily. Gator, the look on your face tells me you avoid them.
Not a fan.
No. Kang, where do you rank in terms of coasters?
I used to love them.
Yeah.
Used to love them.
And now?
I've grown up, Doug.
Okay.
No, I never don't have the time anymore.
So there was this highly anticipated debut at Cedar Point of the Top Thrill 2 roller coaster. It opened to the public, I think it was a week, like 9 days ago. So that was a Saturday. Didn't we announce it? I think we announced it. We've talked Cedar Point here a few times. Very popular destination here in Metro Detroit as far as amusement parks and for coaster enthusiasts. It's really good. But the Top Thrill Dragster, I guess, wasn't even open a week before, according to the Free Press. It was announced that it was closed for an extended closure so the manufacturer can make mechanical modifications to the record-breaking thrill ride. Cedar Point said that once the Top Thrill 2 modification is finished, the manufacturer and a third-party ride inspector partner will conduct a thorough review before approving both the modifications and the reopening of the ride. Gator, you're already a nervous flyer, if you will. Would this preclude you from ever saying, nope, I'm out? Never, ever, ever, ever.
I'm not a nervous flyer. I am I don't like when here's the thing with me in flying. I have no issue.
I meant that in terms of coasters.
No, I know, but I'll tie it in here. What I get nervous about is when the plane starts to tilt to turn. In recent years, I don't know why, but I don't like to look out the window at that. Like, I just feel weird. My stomach starts to drop. I hate the stomach drop feeling. This is why I hate roller coasters, because it's a constant stomach drop feeling. I don't want that. I don't want the build up, that anticipation. The adrenaline rush that comes with it is not worth it for me. In fact, I hate it. Any story that's going to come out and say, we need to change this for the safety of... I'm glad you're doing that for everybody else, and that's who it is. It's for everybody else. It ain't for me, because I ain't getting on the thing.
Again, I'm reading from the Free Press story today by Frank Witzel. The Ohio Amusement Park did not say when that would be as far as a reopening, nor did it identify what was wrong with the ride. Okay, when you get into what's wrong with the ride and you hear the term extended closure, I don't know what else it could be other than some sort of safety concern. Now, the original Top Thrill Dragster had a part fly off and hit a woman. So whether it was an extended closure to make sure nothing flies off the ride ever again, or that this actually might have been something that happened where maybe they were stretching the tolerances of what this thing could actually do and it was deemed unsafe. Cool that they caught it, but for the coaster enthusiast out there, I imagine that they took to social media to discuss this. And that there's probably threads about it amongst people who love roller coasters. I know we have a lot of people in our audience that love roller coasters. So a few things. One is, when you hear this, is this become a, hey, I'm out, I'm not getting on this thing? What's the speculation? I guess I don't want to get too deep into irresponsible guessing as to what it might be, but I mean, if I were a coaster enthusiast, I'd be like, yeah, I'll sit this season out. Let's let this thing run a few thousand times before I go hop on it.
Right. I'll hit the other rides.
Yep.
Don't need to get on this one.
You're right about the sit the season out thing, though, Doug. I don't know how many people go more than once. I know it's not hard. Sandusky's not that far from here, but I think the majority of people go once a summer, right? And so this is your one shot maybe to ride this ride. And if you're just going to turn it down, that's it for the whole season. You're not coming back till next year. I don't know if the coaster enthusiast, like you said, wants to be the first on the ride. Do you want to be the first on the ride after it's been quote unquote fixed?
No. Let me be, I mean, I don't know. That's all I got.
That would be no.
I mean, that even happens at times where you're at an amusement park and a ride is shut down for a while.
During the day,
During the day, if you hear it's shut down and then you come back, okay, it's open now. Nope. Not for me. It's not open for me.
What if they just had to clean vomit off it?
That could be the thing. That absolutely could be the thing. And guess what? Nope.
It's okay, people. It was nothing mechanical.
Yep.
Someone dropped a deuce when we came through on the
seat you would be sitting in was formerly covered in vomit.
And stool. Feces.
Yeah.